I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mossy Warrior Clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomenon with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mossy Warrior Clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
streets, Sutek tried to line it up. And he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal Power won't even debate Shawn because he too disrespectful.
He is though. No, he really is though. I can't really like you, bro. You cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up, but niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro. But we gotta get in the ring first. If you want to be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro. Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. I mean, put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't need these. Fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, it's like, wait, bro, talk like that. We gotta get face to face. We can talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel me? Go ahead, I got my brother on here. Peanut, what's the word, my brother?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but Lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit because I stay in shape. And I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not going to get nowhere lying because that's what's going to make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dudes. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African. So don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
You heard it. If Shawn P want to debate, don't debate the champ over here, right?
Sutek wanted so this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Shawn want you and Sutek want him. You say PMF ain't on his
no problem. There's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that one, brother. I love that warrior mentality.
That's how it's going. I love to tell Sutek, tell me. There ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. I have him pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. Make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We make it work. So, right here. He ain't ducking no phase, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He do this over here on y'all channel, but then when we get in other
hey, alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there, nigga. Stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga around me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me?
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan-African channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't be PNF like that.
PNF, they trying to trigger you, brother.
What the fuck up?
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, word on the street, I'm ducking from Shawn P. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like...
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all did.
I feel like you standing on me.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all won't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Shawn P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Shawn P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK, TKO. Now he's a con. OTK, you died. TKO. By your own genealogy.
From Africa, but they will be able to tell you about Africa. They wouldn't be vaguely saying they from Africa, brother. Like when a European says I'm from Europe, he doesn't say I'm from Europe. He says I'm from Germany. I'm from a particular province. I still got people out there, right? You know, when people say hold on. When people say they from Asia, they tell you whereabouts from Asia they from. They tell you their province. They tell you they still got people out there. These people will confirm that they are indeed a part of their heritage. But you niggas was calling y'all African? Oh, mysteriously, you have no contact with the people you say you descend from. So I don't believe you. Bro.
Hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. The roots of a tree and not hate the tree.
You ain't no Indian, please try again. Everybody know you's an African. And Malcolm X said, you can't hate the root without hating the tree. Now take a look at you, you's a wannabe Cherokee. And I told you before, you need some therapy. And why you never show the genealogy? You owe your ancestors an apology. And you know they turning over inside of their graves just because you don't wanna come from a slave. So you gotta take this whip in. I caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another. Let's go. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Yo, check this out, man. You wasn't already here, man. Dane Calloway lied to you, man. The research guy lied to you, man. Karemio lied to you, man. Your ancestors come from Africa, whether you like it or not. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you will always be an African. You can't deny the facts. You can't deny the evidence. You can't deny the genealogy. You can't deny the DNA. You can't deny it, man. Whether you like it or not, you are African. Caught an apple slipping. That's all we do. That's all we do. Let's go.
Got some dewy-eyed thing that you got a friend. I still ask you to look at that mirror. And if nothing's staring back at you is friendly, then you've got no friend.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Shawn P in the place to be, man. Make sure y'all like this stream, share the stream, and tell people that we're live. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on Vernell to pull up. But more importantly, a couple of other people, man. A few unbiased people to hop on the panel. You know what I'm saying? I know I got one in the chat already. They ain't hit the link yet. They might be at work. We just waiting, y'all. We waiting. You know what I'm saying? We waiting. What not a coincidence at, man? We got Mika in the building. I'm gonna bring you up in just a minute, Mika. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get a few other people in here real quick. You understand me? You understand me? Let's see how it go. So let me bring up big head Mika, man. She wanna do
There
debate.
you go.
You know what I mean? But
He
it's
better show up.
but it's scary. He did all that. He came in the chat soon. The show went up talking about 3-0. And, you know, maybe he's going to show up, y'all. We're going to give him some time. Maybe he's still getting his slides together. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he needs a little bit of assistance, right? Before he do anything. So, you know, we want to give him a due diligence to be able to do what necessarily need to be done. You know, we get this on the road. He's going to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to mute out. You're going to keep the clock. He gonna introduce himself. 15. He got 5 minutes to introduce himself if it take that, and then he got 10 to go. It looked like he been doing some work. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got that patch on the side of the head, and he got his headsets on. He has arrived. But hold up. I need to do something real quick. Get him on up here, just so y'all know. Y'all know he in the building.
Yeah.
Hold up. Before you go. Who was this?
This Cass.
Bro. Cass, bro. For real.
Oh man, no, I was at that dude Slavic King on BAP channel. You know, they kept trolling me, so I had to come in to Slavic King. But it was some dudes, man. I had to check some dudes on TikTok. They had your picture up with a bunch of pseudo folks. And then when I asked them about it, they kicked me off the panel.
That's Ling them.
It wasn't Ling. These was some dudes talking about we don't need the sun. I don't know who these dudes was, man. They're talking about
don't need the sun.
Yeah, they was like, we don't need the sun. We need to stop honoring Kemet because Kemet was sun worshipers. We got the sun in the center of the earth. And then they had your picture. It's been some weird stuff. There's the fake page I told you about. And then on here, they had you with Dr. Malachi. Well, I'm saying Malachi York and Nature Boy and stuff.
I don't associate with none of them dudes.
Right. That's why I'm like, why y'all got his picture up? So it was obviously somebody you probably checked, told them they was pseudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second, man. So listen, we about to have a debate, brother. So you came up here with something that's distracting us from where we about to go. But we definitely gonna get into you, Cass, a little later on. We're gonna learn about what happened over there in TikTokville and what got you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I wish I could set your account up over there, man. But they crazy. They crazy in TikTok. That's the whole, man. It's some good. I like it because it's easy to set up and you can make videos and certain points. I like that about it. You feel me? But, bruh, they even lost their mind over there on TikTok, bro.
No, I'm not going over there. So listen, man. I'm waiting on Honey Clark to hit the link. V Note. You know what I'm saying? I thought Sister Juju was gonna hit the link. I'm waiting on. You know, I'm trying to be fair, V Note. You know, the lady's gonna hold people accountable, and I'm gonna make sure you get your shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Try to get my stuff off, man.
Huh?
I know you're trying to put me in the back a lot. You gonna make sure
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm making sure you're gonna get your shit off all the way. So I want you to have your mind all the way right. You need to get you something to drink.
I'm pulled up, rolled up.
Okay. I'm glad you pulled up. I'm glad you pulled up.
But so man, I got like this first little, like my first little get down. So man, I really ain't playing a lot of videos or nothing like that. But there's a couple of videos, not a couple of videos, but it is a couple of little clips on this first one.
You want to play? Okay.
But I may need a little bit more, just a little bit more than 10 minutes. But it's just gonna be the introduction. I got 3 big guns for you.
I'm gonna give you 15. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes on your first rip. That's gonna be your introduction and your round. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you know what I'm saying. You feel like you're there.
I got a couple of more special platinum bullets. That's for sure. And knockdown, but but I wasn't able to put them in the clip. But you know what I'm saying? It's all.
Yeah, I need all your best bullets, brother. I need all your best bullets.
Oh man, this fit to get crazy, man. I'm fit to slow cook you, man. I'm fit to take you down this rabbit hole.
Slow cooking.
I'm fit to slow cooking.
Yeah. Okay. You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, without further ado, we got Honey Clark on the building. We got Sister Meek on the building. We're gonna this is what we're gonna do, ladies. I'm glad you two was up here. I wish it was like another one, but we're gonna let y'all moderate and mediate. Okay. He get his 10, I get my 10. He get his 10, I get my 10. He said he wanted 3. He wanted 3-piece. So he wanted 3-piece. Now, if I yield my time, hey, let him go. I don't care if I just went for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 1 minute. If I yield my time, it is what it is. And then if one of y'all want to question answer, whatever y'all got to do, that's on y'all. I really ain't, I'm letting y'all control the flow of this.
Are you heard me?
Let me know if I can be heard, if I can't be heard. But go ahead, Honey Clark. Let me see. Let me hear you.
Hello.
I hear you, Mika.
I didn't say anything. Hey.
All right, okay.
To take the time because I'm multitasking. But
you good? I know. That's why I got her here, because you're multitasking. So I just need to know when his time is up. I know you're at work, Mika.
Okay. So
I need to know when his time. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna mute out. At this point, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got this. So I'm gonna mute out.
Is he gonna share his screen and everything?
Yeah. I'm gonna help him get his screen. I hope he's sharing the screen. I hope he ain't just gonna the microphone and let her look at this crazy goof ass.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, I'm gonna mute out, and whoever got the time, one of y'all, because Mika's multitasking. Tell him when he can go. He get 5 minutes to introduce himself.
Okay. It's 5 minutes, then 3 10-minute rounds or something.
There you go. I ain't introducing myself.
Oh, God.
Introduce yourself. Just in case somebody else watch it, they know who you are.
Okay, yes, ma'am. All right, so I'm gonna get his screen on. Okay, go his screen. Vino, you gotta.
Okay, hold on. Let me just switch it up. Hold on.
Here we go with this. Hold on, before you go. We're gonna mute. Hold on, don't go yet.
Hold on.
Just get your shit together.
Quick. Let me get this together real quick.
Why you getting your stuff together? Fair use, fair use. I gotta get to this. You getting your stuff together? Fair use, fair use. I gotta get to this. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all got y'all popcorn. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all got y'all popcorn ready. Vino, you gonna go on Honey Clark. Vino, you gonna go on Honey Clark.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
There's an echo. There's an echo.
Right, because he got his mic open.
Okay, hold on.
The only way he gonna stop it. No. You cool. Play the video, see if we can hear.
Well, there ain't no video right here. This is just a couple of pictures right here on the introduction. But I got something coming up next. Hold on, let me see.
Okay, I want to test your video first. So can you go to an opposite video so we can hear? I want to test your video first. So can you go to an video?
What's up? Why it sound like that you kind of breaking up or something? Am I good?
No, you're not breaking up. No, you're not breaking up.
It sound like y'all breaking up, but all right, hold on. Let me get back to this real quick.
Am I breaking up?
What's up? Can y'all hear me? It's all good.
You know.
So we starting off. I appreciate Shawn P. Let me come up here and cook. This is definitely supposed to be a feast for everybody to eat. Just to put everybody that be hating on me in the chat up in here, and all my peoples, we're gonna be able to eat on this. Shout out to all my Black Seminoles and Seminoles, especially out here in Weedtown and East OKC and all through America, Oklahoma, just to give it up. And this is my opinion. This is my get down, and this is I ain't trying to offend anybody or upset anybody about what I'm supposed to say, but this is just what the facts is bringing me, and we're supposed to get to it. So as we see, when Columbus first came over here, he thought he was coming to India, so he called the people Indians, and the word Aborigine and Indians, you know what I'm saying, when their word extended to everybody, you know what I'm saying, that was living over here. So that was back in the 1400s. This is one of the first depictions in the 1500s, 1580 something. I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of other primaries and sources to be able to source up and be able to explain that Black people was found over here in America, and that the Black Seminoles are from America. This is also one of the first depictions in the 1730s. Let me go back in the 1730s of the people that they was finding over here within the tribes. You see that it was Black people already over here in the early 1730s. Again, and it just leads up to, in the 1820, an American, Native Americans, originally applied to the Aborigines of copper-colored races, found her by Europeans, and the big word in there is found by the Europeans. Now they tried to tell me that a Negro Abraham is a mix, that he's mixed blooded, but as we can see in this illustration, and we also got the picture where it shows that he's a full-blooded Negro, but he's from America, and I'm gonna give you the whole bust down of the Black Seminoles foundations in America. And that's the real picture. That's the real picture. This is him right here in the top right. Born and raised just like a lot of other Black people over here in America. Born and raised, they people from over here found in America by the Europeans. Now they try to say, that this dude right here, Joseph Apollo, is the connection. He the one that supposedly connected the Black Seminoles to Africa through the Gullah. Now, now, in 1974, which he was 24 years old, he went over to Africa, and he came to the conclusion that Black Seminoles was from West Africa. Now, the way he got to this was through a song, which, and you know, this ain't no shot at the elder.
Got 1 minute
You know
left.
what I'm saying? That put in the work right here.
Got 1 minute left.
Only got 1 minute left?
For your 5-minute intro, or are you not? For your 5-minute
And you
intro,
didn't.
or are you not doing
Okay,
that?
no,
And you
this
didn't.
is all good.
No, let him go. 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 He got 11 minutes.
Okay, so this is
Okay, just keep on. Okay, just keep on.
okay, so this is the Black man that came up with the he had found the song in the Carolinas with the peoples that they were singing this song, and they connected it back to Africa. And this is another person from Europe that was working with him that he said whenever they were singing the song, and this is the song right here, a Mindy song, he said that one word, that song right there, that little small song right there, he said that one word, this word right here, it caught. This word right here, it said this is the connection for the Black people and for the people in West Africa. Now, this is in the 1970s, 1980s. Before this, there is no primary documentation saying that these people are Gullahs, especially the Black Seminoles, or none of that. So, bring that back. And that's the book right there that he had put together. So they taking one song and one word from in the song and saying this is the connection for all the Black people, especially if you got a broken English that's in America, that you Gullah, and if you come up from the Southeast. Now, this is how the song was sung. This is how it sounds.
And we all learned to sing the song. I think it goes something like, I woke up in the morning, kumbaya, diddy, tombe. I woke up in the morning, kumbaya, diddy.
So that's the song, and they got it from a woman I'm for the show next, but this is her mother that taught her the song, and they say that her mama taught her and that she was a slave from Africa, but they never knew what the song was. She said that she was singing and dancing to the song and never knew what the song was. Didn't nobody never tell them that it was a funeral song? It was nothing like that. But some white people told them, and we supposed to believe it. And that's the story. And that's how they connecting us with this one right here, no disrespect. And this is what the woman looked like right here. But this is what the woman looked like. The description of it, you see she was really didn't look African like that to me. And this is the woman that they went down there in Georgia to go interview. You know what I'm saying, that they got the song from. Shout out to the Morans. And
Elders played with her. I woke up in the morning, kumbaya, diddy,
She taught it to them. Did nobody ever say it was an African song? Did nobody ever tell them this is Africa, this is Africa? Did nobody ever tell them nothing like that? Some white people told them this, and they saying, okay, this is your people's possibly. These people right here. So what they did was they went over a trip over to Africa, and they went over to a place in Sierra Leone, and to welcome the Gullers. They put it all in the papers. And they went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They went to 20 places within this area. And right before they went over there, they mysteriously came up with the song weeks before. They found the song, like the old song, I guess the tape recorder. They found that a week before, went over there. Did none of these villages understand what the hell was going on? But then they end up finding one village that was outside the area that they did their study in, and that was the connection. Now, when they were connected, before they took the people over, this is what the people that's in Georgia, which is the Morans, this is what they were saying before they went over there.
Part of the history was blank. There was that part of the history. That part of the history was blank. There was no names, no records, nothing that would connect me to a place in Africa, other than that somebody in my family were brought over here. From where? South Africa, West Africa, Middle Africa, where? We had no earthly idea.
So they in Georgia. They have no paperwork, no document. They right at the Atlantic. They right on the Atlantic Ocean. They been there forever. They ain't got no paperwork connecting them back to Africa. They saying this one song is connecting them back to Africa. Also, I want to give a shout out to my people, the Cudjos, because the twins did go over there, and them was my peoples. And this was during the time in the early times when, just when when Jesse Jackson just came out with the, what I'm saying, as far as the African American, it's that movement. And plus, on top of that, we trying to get our benefits. We trying to get broke off by by the Seminoles, because they done push us out the, push us out the tribe as far as getting the same benefits that they get. So, but Jason Napola, he came and helped them out. He was one of the people that was helping them out. So, what I'm saying? But they went over to Africa with them, what I'm saying, with the connection. Now, when they went over there and they came back, we got two news clippings now of a couple of things that I thought that was suspect. That the dude said that they were speaking Gullah and all this old type of stuff. When the Cudjos, these people right here, these people is principals, they're teachers, they're basketball coaches, they play for the Harlem Globetrotters. They talking about they speaking Gullah and all this old type of stuff. Ain't nobody in Oklahoma speaking no Gullah. None of my aunties, none of my grandmas, none of my peoples speak no Gullah. Never heard of it. And I'm also bust that down because he also said that a teacher in Texas had told him that black people was up in Oklahoma speaking Gullah. And he from Oklahoma, he don't know nothing about it. Another white man from Texas is telling him, oh yeah, there's some black people up there that speak Gullah. He ain't never been up there. He got the feeling, or he think that it's going down like that because of our peoples down there in Bracketville, which he went down there and got to talking to the people. And he said that the people were speaking some type of Creole and it sounded like Gullah. It wasn't even the same. So then Jason Napola come up to Seminole. So this was his test. His gauge and test was, if some people look at him crazy, whenever he starts speaking Gullah, then but that should be the signs that they don't know what he's talking about. So he said that he came across some teenagers. he came across some teenagers and he got to talking to them, and he asked one of them, and he got to talking to them about some Gullah, got to talking Gullah, whatever. And one of the teenagers said that, I kind of hear something like that, what I'm saying, that my grandpa say, hash the lock, or hash the light, as far as turn off the light, which I ain't never heard that, nothing like that. But he say hash the light, where he said that's the same thing as octolite, as far as the Gullah, some old crazy shit like that. So he took that one instance. I'm talking to these kids. When he went and talked to the OG, you know what I'm saying? When he went and talked to the old head said, hold on, there's been some lynchings around here. You need to get from around here and move around. He ain't even talked to the old head. He talked to one teenager in Seminole and concluded that all the Black Seminoles is damn Gullah. That was his conclusion. So we got Wilbur Cudjoe, which one of those brothers, because there was two brothers who went over there. It was Lawrence and Lance, which I'm gonna show them, and I'm gonna show how I'm connected to them. Nigga just ain't playing with this. So we got Wilbur Cudjoe in 2002, and this is in a Daily Oklahoman, which he's saying that he's 78 years old. Shout out to the OG. That he believes.
They say you got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, that he believes that his people is Black. Hold on, man. I got a little video to play at the end, but hold on. Let me just go and do it real quick. That he believes. So we ain't got no paperwork connecting us to Africa. We ain't got no paperwork connecting us to Africa. Or nothing like that. But I do got the connection of being found over here and growing up within these villages and eating the same thing and speaking the same language as these people. We also got and we also got 1996 when they said that, you know what I'm saying, when they went over there to Sierra Leone in 11 days, it said that it meant the world, even though in Dallas, I am an American first. Even though we had great camaraderie with the Africans, but I am an American first. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's time.
So then we got my peoples right here. Now these is people that these is
we know.
Huh?
We know.
Now
we know.
Hold on,
we know.
He could get like he could get like 10
just
seconds,
about hold on,
10
it's only just about 3 more minutes. Let me get this little video off. Hold on, let me get this little video off. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even long. It's about 3 minutes.
3
now
minutes.
These is the people.
No, you can't do 3 minutes. You gotta do that later on.
Man, let me just put this in with the business. This ain't nothing.
They moderating, bro.
Man,
can you know it next time?
Nah, because I got a whole nother piece for the second round. All right, man, that's cool. All right.
Can you summarize it?
Nah, let me just bust. It's only 3 minutes, real quick. Hold on, let me just let this play. So these is the people. You know what I'm saying? That's the old school heads. That would have been the old school heads that he talking about. That should have been speaking like Gullah Geechee and all that time. They don't speak no Gullah Geechee.
Freedmen cease fighting and come to Oklahoma with the Indians. So the freedmen made agreement that they would come, but they had to come with their guns on. So you see, the freedmen came here with their guns on. And they said the freedmen were slave to the Indian, but slave don't wear no gun.
Slave don't wear no gun. And keep trying to say within the second round, I will be able to prove that we ain't no slaves in Florida, all that. We from that. I'll be able to bust that down. And I ain't playing about, you know what I'm saying? I got my peoples in Texas, which they run the Seminole Indian Scout Cemetery. We got one of the chiefs down there, Tommy Lee Perryman, and I came across him at a family reunion out in California. And he one of the big dogs down there. And I came across him in California at a family reunion. That's me and my little brother and him. And the Cudjos went out there in the early 19th. Are these just the Cudjos descendants? Niggas ain't going down there for no reason. We been doing this.
They paid $10.
You know what I'm saying? But it's Abraham Boles Cudjo connection.
Ancestors. Are you done now?
No, I put them in the back.
Oh, Shawn got extra 3 minutes.
Pause the video. All right, so peace to everybody in the chat. It's your boy Shawn P. Y'all know me, man. Member of the Masu Warrior Clan. I'm going to drop an article after this, probably tomorrow. It's going to be on Same Tree Different Branch Publishing. And it's got everything to do with the reason for this debate, which is titled, Who are the Black Seminoles? Are they native, indigenous, or he used the definition aboriginal or African? And we're going to get into that. And it's unfortunate that we had to come to this to deal with a historic moment and movement of a group of people who's already paid their dues and who have already proven their worth, their value, and who they are to everybody. Now, I do understand that Vernell is someone who likes to cling on to the good pieces of history and try to redeem that for himself. But like I told y'all before, Black history is African-American history. It has nothing to do with no other group of people in the Americas. So, who are the Black Seminoles? And I don't know why the T is missing. Here goes some prominent, and not the only ones, because there was one that I left off, but these are some people that are known to people in everywhere. The Negro Abraham, John Horse, and Nero. There's another one that I'm going to mention in here, but you know, you heard him mention these people, but he really didn't get to them. And at the end of this, the end of my first, since he went over 3 minutes, I'm going to deal with the Amelia song real briefly. And something else. It's really not, you know, what I'm going to deal with. So, the topic of who the Black Indians are has been etched in the history books for some time. Unfortunately, since the emergence, since the, let me make my screen full. You just keep the clock running on me. I don't even care. All right. Where I'm at, since the emergence. So since the emergence of the so-called Aboriginal movement, a group of historical revisionists has made attempts to rewrite history. Without reviewing the evidence, they tend to superimpose their beliefs onto who they believe the Black Seminoles were. We just got a great example of that in his first round. My opponent would display, and this is just proof positive, I predicted the future. My opponent would display that same lack of integrity in his argument and no research methodology, leading him to draw a faulty conclusion, arguing that the Black Seminoles are not people of African ancestry is beyond unintelligent. We will restore the Africanness in the Black Seminoles and end this silly speculation for future generations. All right, my hypothesis, the reason that we're here. I believe that my opponent is anti-African, and as being anti-African, he attempts to de-Africanize the African presence in American history. And the association with Africa motivates them to deny the historical record in an attempt to try and persuade people that somehow Black people in early America had to be indigenous to the lands without any valid proof. The Black Seminoles tell us where they came from and how they established communities next to the Seminole tribe, who they would fight on side of against Europeans during the Indian Wars. But due to cherry-picking sources and arguing from ignorance, my opponent will continue to deny the historical record in an attempt to push their own narrative. Let me be clear. This is simple methodology. We will review historical accounts, primary, secondary, tertiary, written during the time of the Black Seminole, and see what the records say about them. We will properly define the who, what, where, when, and how these people became to be known as the Black Seminole. Legal definitions of who these people are. Okay, I'm gonna skip the early part of this because it really doesn't matter to anyone, and I'm gonna take you right down here to 1, or E, where designations of a person by race, color, or national origin is required. The following designations shall be used: Black, not of Hispanic origin, a person having origins in any of the Black racial groups of Africa. That's one definition. The next one, American Indian or Alaskan Native, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North America and who maintain cultural identification through tribal affiliation or community recognition. I just wanted to get those two out of the way. Now let me beat a dead horse. Negro, because you heard that a lot. It's a noun. It is remarkable that uncommon people retain that exact Latin pronunciation of the word negar. It is a native or descendant of the Black race of men in Africa. The word is never applied to the tawny or olive-colored inhabitants of the northern coast of Africa, but to the more southern race of men who are quite black. I knew he was going to go to 1828 and try to pull that whole definition out. So I went right back to that same source. Black, noun, that which is destitute of light or whiteness, the darkest color, or rather a destitution of all colors, as a cloth that has a good black. A Negro, a person whose skin is black. So let's just keep it there. The Black Seminoles, and these are definitions. The Black Seminoles were a group of African Americans primarily descended from escaped slaves who formed communities alongside Seminole Native Americans in Florida. This alliance emerged from shared experiences of oppression and a mutual desire for freedom, resulting in a unique cultural blend. The Black Seminoles were Africans, often runaway slaves, who were members of the Seminole tribe, a group of Native Americans who had left the Creek tribe and settled in Florida. The Black Seminoles were Blacks, a fugitive slaves who forged a strategic alliance with the Seminole Indians in Spanish Florida during the early 1800s. The Black Seminoles are a small offshoot of the Gullah, who escaped from the rice plantations in South Carolina and Georgia. They built their own settlements on the Florida frontier, fought a series of wars to preserve their freedom, and were scattered across North America. Runaway slaves forged close alliances with Florida Seminoles in the 18th and 19th centuries. Historians struggled to find an appropriate term for the persons of African descent living in Seminole country. In Florida, these people came to be known to historians as Black Seminoles or Seminole Maroons. The evidence. Mitochondrial DNA sequence variations was examined in 37 Seminoles from Florida by polymorphism chain reaction, application, and high resolution restriction endonuclease analysis. I know it goes over your head, but pay attention. The Y chromosome type restrictions fragment length polymorphisms detected by the probes 49A, 49F, and 12F2 were examined in the 26 males of this group. Analysis of the mtDNA revealed that all 4 Native American haplogroups, A, B, C, and D, were present in Seminoles, encompassing about 95% of the Seminoles' mtDNAs. No European mtDNA were found among the Seminoles, but 2 mtDNAs, which was about 5%, were members of the African-specific haplogroup L1, thus indicating that a limited number of African women were incorporated in the Seminole tribe. Analysis of Y chromosome haplotypes supports the hypothesis that haplotypes 18 and 63 are the most likely found in Native American Y chromosome haplotypes from Asia. However, 11% of the Seminole Y chromosomes represented haplotypes generally attributed to Europeans, though none harbored standard African haplotypes. These findings support historical evidence that the Seminole tribe has integrated individuals of European and African ancestry, but suggest that the sex ratio of non-natives from different continents may have varied. The Seminole Indians of Florida were studied on their 3 reservations for blood types, red cell enzymes, serum proteins, physical measurements, and relationships. Both serological and morphologic factors suggest their close similarity to other Indians and small amount of admixture. The Florida Seminoles are similar to the Cherokee full-bloods in their absence of RHO and their incidence of O and M. In the presence of DEN, they are similar to other Indians, especially those of South America, while the presence of G6PD-A and frequency of HGB-S are indicative of Negro ancestry. The absence of RHO suggests that the Negro contribution must have been small. Physical traits give parallel results. Both serology and morphology further show that the Seminoles of the Dania and Big Suppressed reservations are more similar to each other than to those of the Brighton Reservation, in keeping with their history. Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, by properly defining who the Seminoles are, by presenting not only DNA evidence that we know exactly who the Seminoles were, and blood type, we went to the blood quantum to also measure it up. There's a line specifically written by Gerald Forbes here, and I ain't even gonna get to all of that because I'm about to yield my time so I can see which move he wants to make after I deal with Amelia. There's this line in here, and I want y'all to see it real closely. And it says an actual count of the group in 1823 produced a total of 4,883 Seminoles, none of whom were Negroes. I properly defined who a Negro was. I told you what they mean when they get with black. We properly got definitions of who the Seminoles were. Now I'm going to stop right here because I know that's way too much for someone unprepared on how to deal with this particular topic. So I want to bring you real briefly to a few key points. The Gullah Geechee culture of the Sea Islands of Georgia has retained ethnic traditions from West Africa. Since the mid-1700s, although the island, along with the southeastern U.S. coast harbor, the same collective of West Africans, the name Gullah, has come to be the accepted name of the islanders in South Carolina, while the Geechee refers to the islanders of Georgia. That's how you get Gullah Geechee. So now I'm going to skip ahead for this because he tried to play the language game. Okay? So most anthropologists and historians speculated but have not confirmed the term the Gullah deemed the cultural names of the islanders, derived from one of several African ethnicities or specific locations in Angola and the Windward Coast. Other researchers speculate that the Gullah and Geechee are borrowed words from any number of ethnic groups along the Windward Coast, such as Gola, Kissi, Mindi, Timni, Twi, and Vai, that contributed to the creolization of the coastal culture in Georgia and South Carolina. What the hell does any of this have to do with anything? Linguist Lorenzo Dow Turner researched and documented spoken words on the coast during the 1930s, traced similarities to ethnic groups in West Africa, then published the Gullah Dialect Lexicon, Africanisms in the Gullah Dialect. His research confirms the evolution of a new language based on West African influences and English. Many words in coastal culture could be matched to the ethnic groups in West Africa, thereby linking the Geechee and the Gullah people to their origins. Margaret Washington Creel, in a peculiar people, slave religion, and community culture among the Golas in 1988 identifies cultural and spiritual habits that relate to the similar ethnic groups of West Africans who are linked by language. Her research on the coastal culture complements Turner's findings that Africans of the Sea Islands created a new identity despite the tragic conditions of slavery. Let me move on to the move on. Here's who he kept bringing up. Joseph Apala, ethnomusicologist Cynthia Smith, and a linguist, Tazif Cormo, came across Turner's tape recording in 1989 and began tracing its origins not only to Moran, who was living in the Harris Neck, Georgia, but also to the Bendu Jabita in Senhum Ngola, Sierra Leone, who was the last person in her village with knowledge of the song. So when he kept saying all this, they didn't know this and they didn't know that, and they didn't know it was an African song or whatever it's coming from. No, ladies and gentlemen, they went to the lady who was the last one to have remembrance of the song, meaning it was retained because she knew it as a child. So again, to this song, you're going to see another image of this sister right here. This is Amelia's song, definitely Gullah in its version, and goes all the way through. I'm not going to give it away to everybody because he just played bits and pieces of it. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And now I can move on. So Amelia's song is one of the most fascinating stories in African-American drama of the Maafa Atlantic slavery. A Mindi woman captured, transported, and enslaved in the Southern America had carried within her a song of mourning. Not what he just told you. A Mindi woman. She carried the song across the Atlantic. That is how they know. This Mindi song was a dirge sung by women during a ceremony called Tinjami, or crossing the river. One can imagine that in crossing the Atlantic, the Mindi women would have felt the need, felt that she had died. I'm not going to go too far of it because, as you know, he just took us off the railroad tracks. So I'm gonna stay right on the subject matter of the topic of the debate. I don't want to go no further left, no further right. He ain't proved shit about these people, and I'm yielding back my time.
Thanks. I was about to say time.
I went too long on that. It should have been 5 minutes. My bad. Let me mute out and let me get his screen.
Did it froze? Because I still see Shawn stuff.
Nah, hold on. Let me stop. Okay, you should be able to see.
One second.
One second, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. So, hold on. Let me go on and bring it. Hold on. Don't even start it yet. Hold on, because I want to play my shit while we get there. Hold on. Finish up where we was at.
They paid $10 to get on the road, I hear. And if you came from Florida with Seminole Indians or your ancestors, and they were on the roads, well, come on down by lineal descent, and they allocated land. We got the map. Everybody they issued that land to. Some of them did real well because he got land that had oil reserves on it. Of course, that land's gotten away. We had some of the same conditions they had down in Florida, where they just told people to just go them out of deed, told people to get off the land they own. You know, they're not gonna put it in history books where how they got over a lot of this land, how they did not put that in the history books.
People today, especially elderly people, some of whom are old enough to have been original allottees, they remember this period.
Which that's my peoples, that's my Aunt Helen, that's my grandpa's auntie, that's my grandpa's mama's sister, which is a Cudjoe, which is King Cudjoe's descendants, and she fit to spit some game, and she sound like my Aunt Joycey and laugh like her.
Period very well.
Helen Thurman, born in 1902, was listed on the allotment rolls as a newborn.
Now, which is which? That's Lance. I'm Lance. He's Lance. That's what I thought. Yeah. Got a good fire. I'm a newborn. You a newborn? Uh-huh. Yeah. All the newborns got 40 acres of land. But yes. Some got 60s, the older ones. First class land. They got 60 acres. 60. Mm-hmm. Granddaddy, his name was John Cudjoe. He got a good grade of land. It's right east of Middle Creek Church, down off in that bottom. Oh, it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. But after he passed away, so many heirs, one sell, this one sell, and some they petitioned him out, you know. Mm-hmm. Didn't get nothing. They didn't give them nothing, but still they took it.
In that house we just seen, I just slept in that house before. Now, another thing that I want to bring about that is that whenever dude got down in Texas to Brackenville, whenever he was talking to them, they was already speaking the language called Thai or flat top. They wasn't calling it gutter. And another thing he want to talk about is black. So we got people that's connected to the Forbes. With these is the Britons. These is the people that freed the Africans. These is the but these is the white people that's supposed to did everything. The Britons within their books. This is a book from the 1700s, which is a children's book, which where they teach the children. Like the same way that we got the alphabet books. The A is for apple, B is for B, C is for cat. They had the same things back then, and they connected to the Forbes, which connected to the slave trade in Florida with the Leslie Company. Now let's see what they said what black was. One moment. Hold on. Black man and woman and natives from warm countries. It had nothing to do about Africa. It was just about the black people that was all across the whole world that they been finding. So we're gonna nip that at the bud. And let me go with this. Hold on. Now this lady right here that he fits to be talking about is a lady that's on this road with a lady that was caught within the first people that was caught within the Second Seminole War that was caught up with my peoples in January 27th of 1837, and they all got caught up. Her name is Bessie. This is Bessie. She 45. She locked in with people that never had a master. They been in Florida forever. Speak the language, been doing this, but they gonna say, they peoples ran away, or they grandpa or they great grandpa ran away. I'm gonna bust that down too. But let's see what C got to say. Survivor. Now this is from a newspaper. Since they try to bring up this news article from the 1900s, we got a person that was born in the 1700s, and but this news article came out in the 1890s, and she telling them what But she's telling them what the game is. Now let's hear what she say.
So here's the newspaper article. One Seminole War survivor, aged negress in Texas who saw the struggle in the Everglades. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Territory, November 18th. Of course, this is before Oklahoma became a state. It will be interesting to know that there has been discovered recently at Fort Clark in western Texas a woman known as Aunt Betsy Payne, who lives with a small detached remnant of the Seminoles in that vicinity. Aunt Betsy Payne believes she is over 100 years old. So, of course, 1899, she was born in the late 1700s, probably 1790s. She stoutly maintains that she has Seminole blood in her veins, though her color and features indicate that she is certainly a full-blooded African, and, you know, that's kind of a biased and racist statement. She evidently has lived with the Seminoles all her life, and she is regarded highly by the Indians because she is the widow of Chief Payne, a famous warrior. And Betsy says that she has grown as a grown girl when the trouble occurred between the United States and Spain over the invasion of Florida by General Jackson. Spain ceded Florida to the United States in 1821, and by the terms of the treaty made between the great powers, all runaway slaves were to be returned to their masters upon proof of ownership. Aunt Betsy says that one exception was made to this clause in favor of the Negro wives of the Seminole warriors. She distinctly remembers that King Payne told her all about this matter and asked her if she would not like to be his squaw, warning her at the time that the white soldiers might make lying papers and take her away unless she is consented to the arrangement that he had suggested.
That the soldiers gonna make lying papers, fake bill of sales, which what they been doing since day one, to be able to, hunt black people in Florida. They've been in Florida for thousands of years before the white people got there. That was found by them. Now we're gonna go to the notices of Florida and the campaigns, and we're gonna see what they got to say. Now she was the wife of the chief, so she know the pains. She kin to the pains. Micanopy, y'all them. They know what's these is Yamasees. Niggas say, what's your tribe? What's your tribe? Yamasee. This is a woman that's talking, and we looking at what's going on as far as them but still in identity. They finding us over here in America. They enslaving to say, oh yeah, some liquor shit because you look like some niggas over there that we done already seen. So you gotta be from Africa, even though they found us over here. Now let's see the next thing they gonna say about the Yamasees. The Yamasees are remarkably black people. They're black people. This is the book this is the first book that came out right after the Second Seminole War. They wrote this in 1836. Black people always been over here. So they try to take it back to 1722, but we go back before that because they try to say what? Fort Moses is supposed to be the first on the Fort Moses supposed to be the first black settlement in America. No, it's not the first black settlement in America. I got that too. Which they done changed the words on that. Hold on. What they talking about? So we got Payne again in the game. Hold on, what they saying? Hold on. He's saying that he got 2 wives. He got a pretty squaw and he got a half-breed negress. And they try to say she was ugly. I already been over here, locked in the game. These people that was found by these people, they found by these people, right? But they just saying that they African just because the liquor ship, but they ain't calling them African back then. They calling them Negroes, which is black, which we've seen the term, which is just the black man and woman from the warm countries. What's the next game in here? Hold on. Yeah, but this is some of the turf that they was in. You got the Creeks coming in doing their thing. This is some of their landmarks. Back then, some of the ancients. Hold on, what else is going on in here? They say that it's proven determined that it's respect the maroon Negroes who live among them niggas can't even determine the numbers. There's too many niggas. You heard what General Jessup said whenever they said it was a Seminole War. No, this is a Negro war. They didn't even know there's too many niggas popping out.
This time.
Hold on. We got Johnson. Hold on. We got. Hold on, man. Hold on, buddy. Just do
Did you
this.
say time?
We're talking about
Well,
this time. Hold on.
If it's time, it's time.
Hold on. We got We got John Caesar taking over for 200 Indians. He running 200 Indians. We got a black man running.
Vino, bro.
It's time, Vino. Relax, bro.
Can't be. Hold on. You had enough time.
All right. So, real briefly, he is yet to prove that the Seminole are native, indigenous, or aboriginal
Y'all ain't even
to the Americas.
Y'all
I
ain't
hope
even
you
giving me
started my time. Your time was over, Vino. All right. So I want to go to the exiles of Florida because this is really where he's kind of picking up. So I'm just going to jump on where he thought he was moving, right? This was crimes committed by the government against the Maroons who fled from South Carolina and other slave states seeking protection under the Spanish laws. Okay. So Florida was originally settled by Spaniards in 1558. They were the first people to engage in the African slave trade and sought to supply other nations with servants from the coast of Guinea. The colonists held many slaves, expecting to accumulate wealth by the unrequited toil of their fellow men. The people of Georgia were not satisfied with the existing state of things. They were greatly excited at seeing those who had once been slaves in South Carolina and in Georgia now live quietly and happily in the enjoyment of liberty with their flocks and their herds, their wives and their little ones around them. But they were on Spanish soil protected by Spanish laws. The only mode of enslaving them was, firstly, to obtain jurisdiction of the territory, and the annexation of Florida to the United States was accordingly urged upon the federal government. This is also one of the reasons for inspiring the conflicts or the Indian Wars. And it wasn't just a black war. They wanted to re-enslave some of them people who ended up really being re-enslaved. But let's continue. I just thought that it was kind of cute that you would want to go in that direction. Anyway, so this is Black Seminole Facts for Kids. This is out of the Kids Encyclopedia Facts. Hold on, Shawn P. Shawn P, 1 second, Shawn P. Don't do that. Don't start, Shawn P. Don't try to talk like me, Shawn P. I'm trying to let you know what's going on. As early as 1689, Black peoples escaped from South Carolina's low country to Spanish Florida looking for freedom. These peoples slowly formed what is now known as the Gullah culture. In 1693, King Charles II of Spain made a rule that Black runaways would be free if they helped defend the Spanish settlers at St. Augustine, Shawn P. The Spanish created a Black army. The settlement at Fort Mose, which you just brought up, Vino, started in 1738, was the first legally recognized free Black town in North America. That's why it's called the first black town because it was legally recognized. After the Treaty of Paris in 1763, which ended the 7 Years' War, which was the Spanish Florida was given the Kingdom of Great Britain, the area continued to be a safe place for runaway slaves from the southern colonies because it was not heavily settled. Many escaped black people found safety near growing Native American settlements. But who the fuck are these people? Who are the Black Seminoles? So we're going to go to the Jessup's diary. In Jessup's diary, which I have the primaries in the description of this video for anybody that wants any of the sources you see on the screen, in Jessup's diary, he highlights something that is very specific about who these black people were in Florida. What does he say? First, let me tell you what it does do. The diary illustrates Jessup's frustration with the leaders' reluctance to assemble their people and at the same time describe their ability to live in the otherwise inhospitable terrain of southern Florida. Jessup discusses his reasonings behind policies toward Indian property, especially African American slaves who Seminoles intended to bring with them west of the Mississippi. Although Jessup viewed all African living among the Seminole, he said all Africans living among the Seminoles as slaves, his perception oversimplified the status of many of the African Americans living among the Florida Indians. While some Africans were held in bondage by Seminole masters, some attained important positions within the tribe, such as Abraham, the advisor and the interpreter for Micanopy. Let's finish. Let's get him out of here, please. Quit playing with this kid. Black Seminoles. On several occasions, Seminoles and their African allies banded together in the defense of their homelands. Who was banding together? The Seminoles and the fucking Africans. In 1812, a combined force of Africans and Seminoles repelled Georgians, known as the Patriot Army, who intended to capture slaves and cede parts of Spanish Florida for the United States. So what happens? Seminoles and who? Black Seminoles pushed back when American officials attempted to enforce the Indian Removal Act in Florida. In late 1835 and early 1836, Seminoles and their African allies launched a series of raids on U.S. Army fortifications and attacked sugar plantations in East Florida. Africans enslaved on these plantations fled during the chaos, and in many cases, who did they join? The rest of the Black Seminoles. Fuck out of here. Let's get to this work. During the 18th century, the majority of slaves arriving in Carolina came from West Central Africa, including Angola, Senegambia, the Windward Coast, Sierra Leone, and the Gold Coast. Of the 63,401 African slaves shipped to South Carolina between 1733 and 1807, their origins were as follows: 20% Senegambian, 23% Windward Coast, 13% Gold Coast, Ouida Benin Calabar, 4%, from the Congo, 17%, Angola, 23%. What are we talking about? These are the same people that fled into Florida. Runaway slave advertisements. I don't know if y'all can see the picture because this mug is tripping. You might be able to see it. Let me know if y'all can see the picture. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. What was right here is a slave advertisement. The advertisement notices in South Carolina indicated that during the 1730s, approximately 57% of the runaways came from the Congo-Angola region. Meaning all them people in South Carolina that was fleeing was coming from the Congo and Angola region. During 1740s, the percentage of Congo-Angola runaways increased to 61%. Between 1735 and 1765, Congo natives made up the majority of former slaves listed in the St. Augustine records of black marriages. Ladies and gentlemen, what I just did to you was give you information that was pertinent told you that these people were coming from Congo and Angola, fleeing in high percentages. Those people were going into St. Augustine. Where is that? Florida. Next. Francisco Mendez. No. I'm going to stop. I want to yield back my time. I want him to go. Let him go. I'm yielding my time.
Okay.
I ain't gonna deal with no more of the other stuff. Let me mute out. Let me put him back on the screen.
So here's the newspaper.
Hold on. Don't start me yet. Yeah, yield my time. Yeah, let me take his little goofy ass nigga. Hold on, where was I at with it? Where was I at with it? Yeah, hold on. No, wasn't even.
So here's the
Hold on.
So here's the newspaper article.
Where was that? So we got John Caesar taking it over with 200 Indians. How he doing that if he a slave? Hold on. We gonna do this. And then you got Yaha Hodjo, which is a black man. Yamasee, he mixed with Yamasee. You got him and Billy Gucci. You got him and Billy Gucci, which they had their skulls, and they couldn't even determine the race. They couldn't determine the race with the two skulls. Let me tell you who these people is. Hold on. So you got him and Abraham hooking up, doing their thing, running up on. And Abraham, he got a nickname named Yobi. How the nigga got a nickname? The nigga got a nickname named Yobi. How that happened and he grew up with these people. You know what I'm saying? His whole life. And these are some of the towns which we have more than this. We had way more than this. We had way more than this. Way more than this before all this. So hold on. Because I'm supposed to put this nigga in a body bag. Since he tried to go at the Fort Mose. Nah, it ain't Fort Mose. It ain't Fort Mose. It's Santa Catalina de Africa, which they was there before. They just switched up the name. But they say Fort Mose 1730. No, it's not the first black settlement. Because whenever they first settled in Charleston in 1670, they did an Indian raid. They said they fit to run up on the Timacuas. They said they fit to run up on the Timacuas in 1685. And look at the town. They running up on Santa Catalina de Africa. They all be happy about, oh yeah, what about the Congo Square? What about African Town? What about all these towns? What about Angola, even in Africa? It ain't even a slave port down there. That's just all these settlements, and they just putting these African towns on there. I don't know what's going on in these other places, but over here, it's going down, been going down. Hold on. Let me put this nigga in the body bag. Hold on. I ain't playing with this nigga. Hold on. It's over with. It's over with. Hold on. It's over with. We got to hold on. Let me go and blow this up. We got the Spanish settlements. So we got the first dude that go to St. Augustine. He say that in Puerto Rico it's more than 15,000 Negroes. It's goddamn 30,000 Negroes in Hispaniola. It's 20,000 in Cuba. It's 20,000. It's 20,000 in all these places. And by 1750, if you go look, no, I'm not 1750. I'm tripping. By 1570, because he got over there in 1565, which he didn't even take no black people over there at first. He didn't even take no black people over there. He had the authority to be able to take black people, but he didn't. He didn't even take no black people over there. But he's saying that but it's this many people, but that's over there, right? All right, so peep this out. I didn't already told you. Hold on. Let me get this together. Hold on, let me get this together because he tried to come slick and he tried to shorten up his time. And I'm still trying to put some stuff up in here, which we supposed to get to it. Hold on. So pick this out. Yeah, look. They won't let me. Dang. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so we got to bust that down. Okay. So whenever he first came over here, this how he building it up. No, this how he building it up. He had the privilege of transporting. He had the privilege of transporting 500 Negroes from these places. He had the privilege. He didn't even do it. He didn't even do it. He didn't even do it. He failed to bring them. And the first slaves that they brought over there was white from France. And when he first came over there, he found black people. He found black people when he came over there at first. Hold on, let me put this in here real quick. Hold on. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Real quick.
Did you know that?
Hold on. And we already know damn, this is crazy. Shit goofy as hell. So if you come to this book, you already know that they found the black people in America. They found the black people in America. So what did Christopher Columbus say when he first came over here? That the people was the brunette color. They was the dark brown color when they came over. The niggas was the dark brown. Oh yeah, what else they say? They was in right before they found the Pacific Ocean in Panama, in Curica. They said that they thought that they was Ethiopian pirates that shipwrecked in the mountains. That was their justification of finding these first people that they called the Cimarroons, which is the Seminoles, which is the same people that's in Florida that they put. It's so crazy that they put the same term on the people in Florida. This is back when they first discovered the Pacific Ocean. Discovered, found. You see, found right here. They found They found the Negroes. Okay, we got some more. Okay, we got some more on this same topic. Okay, for the life and voyage of the Christopher Columbus. Hold on, we going back because in 1498, before they even discovered South America, but the people that's in Hispaniola said that the black men come from the South with the gold-tipped javelins. They said that. That's what the people in Hispaniola said. And we just got done showing the people that they found in that same area. So we're going to keep it going. These are people that's found over here. And just like I showed in the beginning, use an Indian, Aboriginal, American, if you found in America by the Europeans. Hold on, we're going to keep it going. We got more sources on this. Hold on. Discoveries. Yeah. Hold on, what did it say? They found the Negroes in that same area. This is the same place. They just changed up. You know what I'm saying? But they just spelled it different, but it's the same story. It's coming from a different walk of life. They found these Negroes over here in Panama, just like they found all these other niggas over here in all these other places where I just gave you the crazy number. They said it's 20,000, 20,000 over here, 30,000 over here. And if you add up the African transatlantic slave trade, it don't add up to, because those numbers add up to over 200,000. That don't add up to over 200,000 if you look at the first man that went to St. Augustine, and you know that the people from uh, Charlestown came down there, and they went to the first place called Santa Catalina de Africa, which is the first black settlements, which is not the first black settlement because it's a lot of the black settlements, but that is in text to where we can see that, and it's in the same area. How did the same people, because they say in 1687, the black people had came from South Carolina. How they know to go to that place? How they know to go to this same place? This is the indigenous people that's over here. That's the Seminoles that been putting it down, that didn't want to get up out of there, but we got up out of there. It was too many waves. They've come from New York, all these bust ass niggas, and these bust ass niggas was on their team doing their whole gay ass shit, nigga representing the gay ass shit. Hold on, we got some more. We got some more. I got another source. We even got it in Spanish. If you come to these pages right here, page 37, page 144.
1 minute, Jimmy. 1 minute, Jimmy.
And if you go to that chapter right there, and if you translate it, it's going to talk about the same story that I just got done talking about the black people being found in America. And it's going to be talking about when the first governor or the first person that was running was shit in Mexico, when he went to Peru, he said that he seen 500 leagues of niggas. That's 1,500 miles. That's from where I'm from right now to New York. That's what the nigga said. So all this old goofy ass shit that this nigga talking about, this nigga done, nigga. This nigga over with, nigga. And I got some more shit going on too, nigga. These niggas wouldn't let me cook, nigga. I got some more shit. Put this nigga in a body bag, nigga. It's over with, nigga.
Oh, you can keep going right now.
Oh, okay. I can keep cooking. I can keep cooking, huh?
We waiting for Shawn to come back. We waiting for Shawn to come back.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No, this ain't even the one. Hold on. This ain't even the one. Let me cook because he done. He done. He ain't got nothing else to say. He ain't got nothing else to say. He done. He done. And about the Seminoles. Oh, yeah, what they say, that the exiles, they giving them all type of names. They giving them the exiles. Now they the exiles. They was called by the Creeks the Seminoles. And what that say at the bottom? It say, yeah, it was originally used for the reference of these exiles long before the Seminole Indians had separated from the Creek. I told you that's the niggas that's in Santa Catalina to Africa. Stop it. Hold on. Let me cook some more. Niggas
Hey
playing
man, just
around
time
now.
up, man. Hey man, just time up, man. Thank you. Thank you. We gave you like 15 minutes. Before I get going, let me just go on and get them all up out of here again. He ain't properly defined or showed any evidence of who the fucking Black Seminoles are. He didn't answer the question. But you did do this. I'm gonna make sure y'all can hear this.
Indeed, in some of the towns, which we have more than this. We have way more than this. We have way more than this. Way more than this before all this. So hold on. Because let's put this nigga in the body bag.
Come on, put me in the body bag.
He try to go at the Fort Mose. Nah, it ain't Fort Mose. It ain't Fort Mose.
What is it?
It's Santa Catalina de Africa, which they was there.
Say that name again.
They just switched up the name.
Say the name again.
But they say Fort Mose 1730. No, it's not the first black settlement.
What's the name, V-Note?
Because whenever they first settled in Charleston in 1670, they did an Indian raid. They said they better run up on the Timacoas. They said they better run up on the Timacoas in 1685.
V-Note, you know you fucked up, don't you? You know you fucked up, don't you? You sit there and said Africa. You sit there and said what they called it, and at the last word of that name, what they called it was Africa. Then you showed this, what I got on the screen right here, that says, given the benefit of these historical lessons, it may be seen that Spain organized Florida for reasons both internal to the empire and personal to the colonies founded. You didn't read this. It probably came as a big surprise that when Pedro Menendez de Alvarez established St. Augustine in 1565, he found persons of African descent remaining in the peninsula from prior European expeditions. Further, although Menendez brought with him the institution of Spanish slavery, he found it difficult to maintain. So even in your source that you just brought up, brother, he's telling you that the presence of Africans was in Spanish Florida. He didn't make nothing up. You did. So let the beat build, since we talking about Menendez, since you wanted to go. That's why I stopped, because I knew what you was going to try to do. There's only so much information on these people. Francisco Menendez was an African-born slave who obtained freedom and became a militia captain, co-sieur, and co-founder of the first free black town in what would become the United States. Menendez was probably born in Gambia, region of West Africa, around 1700. He was enslaved at a young age and taken to Carolina to perform plantation work. Menendez took advantage of the chaos of the 1715, 1717. You kept bringing this shit up. Yamasee War, which united Indian tribes and escaped slaves against the English colonists of Carolina. To escape the Spanish Florida with his wife, Ana Maria de Escobar, and others. So in 1718, the Africans who had fled to Florida were sold to Francisco Menendez Marquez. From this relationship, Menendez acquired his name and was baptized as a Catholic. His original and other names are unknown, but remained enslaved. So in 1726, Menendez was appointed captain of the St. Augustine Black Militia, which was active in raids against Carolina in defense of St. Augustine. Menendez also became literate and petitioned the governor to free him and 30 other blacks who had come to Florida or Havana under Spanish religious sanctuary policy. The governor acceded in 1738 and granted freedom for all the slaves who had fled or would flee from Carolina. Tell the whole fucking story. At the same time, he established and fortified community for free blacks under Menendez's leadership, known as Gracia Real de Santa Teresa de Mosé. The community became a vocal point of tension between British Carolina and Spanish Florida, culminating in a bloody battle in 1740 in which the soldiers lost a fort, but saved by St. Augustine. The African community moved to St. Augustine after the destruction of Fort Mosé. This is where Menendez became a Spanish courtier. When his ship was captured by the English in 1741, Menendez was given 200 lashes and tortured by having his wounds pickled in response to his role in the fighting of Fort Mosé. Then he was sold back into slavery in the Bahamas. Menendez reappears in the historical record in 1759 back in Florida as the free commander of the refounded Fort Mosé. Fuck is we talking about? During Florida's first period as a British colony, 1768 to 83, an increasing number of blacks began to inhabit the region. James Grant, governor of British East Florida, believed that the economic development and overall prosperity of the colony relied upon the institution of slavery. He began to offer new settlers 100 acres per head of household and an additional 50 acres for every white and black person in the family, causing slave importation to increase tremendously. Florida produced a 2-to-1 ratio of slaves to white. During this period, the average plantation had between 70 and 200 slaves. You know, you like to talk about not being enslaved or not being slaves and then coming from places that seem to be where the fucking slaves ran to. As a result, blacks were either purchased by Seminoles or given as presents. The going rate was 40 head of cattle. The quality of cattle corresponded with the quality of slave. Taking into consideration such factors as age, sex, weight, and condition, British officials would strengthen alliances with Seminole chiefs by presenting them with slaves as gifts. American State Papers and Indian Affairs on page 461 backs this shit up. Due primarily to the influx of runaway slaves, which in turn increased cohabitation, the relationship between runaways and Seminoles was also strengthened. Seminoles welcomed runaways. In time, when Florida became a Spanish colony once again, Seminoles began to forcibly take blacks in the North Florida region. This is from an 1873 document on page 225 from the U.S. Congressional Records and House of Representatives. It don't get no more primary than that. Seminole slaves consisted of both blacks and captured Indians. However, their institution of slavery was vastly different from both the English and Spanish societies. The slaves lived by themselves in their own villages with little or no supervision. Kenneth Porter describes the relationship as such. What did Kenneth Porter say? A system of relationship between the Seminole Indians and their blacks developed which was the admiration of horror and all the beholders. The blacks lived in separate villages of well-built houses, raised crops, corn, sweet potatoes, and other vegetables, and even cotton, and possessed herds of livestock. Their masters, or rather protectors, never presumed to meddle with any of its property as long as they receive a reasonable tribute, generally believed to be 1/3 of their produce. They were in no case treated as chattels. That is from Anthony Dixon's Black Seminole Ethnogenesis, Origins, Cultural Characteristics, and Alliances. You need to do some reading, bro, and get up on this primary. The majority of Africans in Spanish colonies were forced into slavery. Notice what I keep saying here. But there was a portion of society made up of free black people. They were craftspeople, laborers, soldiers, artisans, and merchants. Although many people of African descent married other black people in their communities, cross-cultural marriages were common and legal, which fostered a multi-ethnic society in Spanish colonies. St. Augustine and Fort Mose were no exception. Evidence supports a rich and complex society that blended African, Spanish, and Native American beliefs and traditions. Most Africans in Spanish Florida lived in St. Augustine both free and enslaved, and made up about 10% of the town's population. Many came from regions of West Africa, but also from places Cuba, Jamaica, Barbados, Antigua, Venezuela, Colombia, and the Canary Islands. Enslaved people who escaped from the Carolinas and came to live at Fort Mose came from many different cultural groups in West Africa. You do not want this smoke coming up out of the primaries in Florida. Thank you. I ain't got no more to say.
Ding, 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 ding. Next.
All right, honey Clark, what y'all want to do? We questioning and answering, or what's the deal? Look at him. What you prove, Vino?
How you think you did, Vino?
I think I did good, and I wasn't even able to really get off like how I really wanted to get off. You know what I'm saying? But
Not
it's
enough
all
time.
good. Nah, there wasn't enough time, but it's all good. I still wiped them down. No, he talking about a primary from 1873. Man, we got primaries. Yeah, you said your primary 1873 from
That's
the
from the House of Representatives.
answer.
It's a primary source. The House of Representatives, talking about the people at that time and knowing exactly who they were. They were numerously defined properly as Africans. They were numerously defined as runaway slaves. They were numerously defined as people who needed to be re-enslaved. That's the confrontation of the Indian Wars. In the earlier Indian Wars was the conflict between them wanting to do whatever the hell they wanted to do to come back into Florida and disrespect the Spanish colony.
No, that was just the leadership and the mislabeling for them.
I didn't even look at shit. That was you. I ain't look at it. Hold on. Let the lady speak. Go ahead, honey Clark. What you got to say? We was cutting you off. My bad.
And I think you guys did it. I think you guys did a good job, except I don't think you're prepared for it. Like, you should have had your rounds together so you could get whatever you wanted to say in your time.
That's all good, man. I ain't tripping, man. Niggas heard what the nigga,
So
niggas heard. Was heard.
Which parts did you get off that you feel like you drove home?
Well, definitely with that Gullah thing. They talking about the Gullah thing. We don't speaking no Gullah up here. Ain't nobody speaking no Gullah up here, man. That ain't what's going on, man. Ain't none of my peoples. You heard the people that was the old school people that would have been the old school people.
No.
Within that video, they don't sound nothing like no Gullah people. They don't sound nothing like no Gullah. They sound like proper English, the same way I'm talking. They sound like they speak English. That's what they sound like.
That's where you messed up at. That you tried to rely on something that you didn't make an argument for. You went to Oklahoma and then try to say what these people in Oklahoma didn't speak. The debate was about who are the Black Seminoles. You failed to define. You failed to define who the Black Seminoles were.
I did.
You did. That's why I said I didn't even really have to go beyond 5 minutes of what I said earlier on. Now, I took notes on what you were saying because you was making a bunch of claims, but I didn't want to do the rebuttals. What I wanted to do was let you get your. What you mean I can't? I got you clipped up now. You recorded. All I gotta do now is just go back and play your rounds and then hit you with that 2-piece all the way through. You cooked.
They had it ready.
You never defined.
Nah,
okay, I'm gonna let you go, bro. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna let you go, bro. Go ahead, bro. I've been nice this long. I'm gonna let you be nice again because you didn't define who the Seminoles, the Black Seminoles, were. You never had no information. What fucked you up is when I brought the DNA and the blood sample out in the first round. The shit was over at that point. I didn't need nothing else.
No, because I got the primary with the Seminole woman.
Do you know that
Woman
the genetic makeup of the Seminoles was presented to you today?
that don't
Are
mean
you aware of that? Are you aware that the Seminoles and the Black Seminoles DNA haplogroups was demonstrated to you today because of evidence that was taken from the people? I showed that. The conversation was over after I showed that. I didn't even have to get into the blood quantum.
It don't
I
mean
did that because I know there's elbows out there that like to play the blood game. So I wanted to make sure that I covered the basis for that too. You never seen that information before. You had no rebuttal to that. You had no rebuttal for nothing that I actually said.
that
The
don't matter.
people over in historical records in the state of Florida, Mika in Florida, are people of African descent. The Black Seminole don't go beyond that. And when admixture happened, they tell you when admixture happened. You never took the Africanness out of the Seminoles, out of the Black Seminoles.
It's the liquor ship.
On your part. That's correct. On your part. What your evidence say? Hold on. Let me hold on real quick because somebody got a bone to pick with you real quick trying to claim their family. On some for real. You changed your whole family history and tree. You went from the Abrahams to a whole other group of people. Your last name Abraham. You was claiming to be related to that guy. Then you turn around and now you trying to be related to somebody. Confused. Hold on. I got brought up Brother Massa because he said you was bringing up his mama's peoples. You must be moving and grooving, Vasa.
A nigga like me, yeah, you better call back up.
I didn't call no backup.
Everybody else come up and hit the panel too.
I didn't call no backup.
Man, this nigga right next to me is a Choctaw.
I didn't call no backup.
This nigga's a Choctaw. This nigga don't even look like no nigga. This nigga.
Well, I guess anybody could come in and want to ask questions to either Shawn or.
It's over with for the nigga. Nigga need backup.
Whoever want to speak their speech.
What this mean? Honey Clark, what that mean?
You know what that means.
Nah, can you explain that? Because I'm confused.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
I showed that y'all two was on two different levels.
How did he do anything? And he was reading reading from something that he typed up.
He was proving the point. Like, I don't know what you thought you was doing. You were showing like how you understood certain things, but you didn't explain the stuff, right? You said they chased this back because of one song. You don't know where you didn't show where we got the song. Shawn showed that. You didn't show anything about it. You didn't show anything about the
song. They took one word out the song and said, "Yeah, this is the connection to Africa."
Boy, you don't know nothing about that.
They took one
word. You made a claim, and you kept making claims.
They took one word.
You didn't show us. You didn't show us. Like when you was saying stuff, you wasn't showing us how you got to that. How did that?
He took one word can be.
But where did you get that from?
He did an interview with some kids in Seminole. With Seminole ain't even the heart of the niggas. That's Wewoka. That's Sakwa. Sakwa. That's Kanawha. That's Manuglama.
You making up shit. Just stop, bro. You making up shit. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
You don't know what's going on.
Confuse us.
Nigga talking about
Vernell.
A white boy
Vernell.
Talking about a white boy.
Y'all can't be doing the same voice.
A white boy that went to Putman City North.
Vernell.
Stop it.
Vernell. You didn't prove anything. You kept making claims in the middle of the debate. That's why I said I didn't want to just go back and just refute your new claims that you was making in the debate, because other people can pick up on that and clip parts of what you were saying and kill it, because there's interest in refuting the dumb shit that you're saying. And what I'm saying, I'm gonna say this one more time. I showed the genetic ancestry of the Seminole and the Black Seminole, and it's over.
It don't mean slave ship. They found
no. Yeah. Do you understand when I showed the genetic ancestry of the two peoples that we're talking about, the conversation was over.
DNA don't mean
I
nothing
entertained you the rest of the way.
over here in America.
Bro, you
Okay, so
argue.
wait. What was V-Notes even? What was your stance?
What do you mean? What was my
Blacks, he say the Black Seminoles are indigenous to America. They ain't from Africa.
You're just saying that Black Seminoles are 100% Native American.
I'm saying
that they was in America because they from here.
I'm saying they found in America.
And didn't argue that.
In America.
They're from here.
Yeah, they found in America. They here before Europeans.
And did you get that information?
That's what you no. I didn't know. Okay. That's what
They here before the Europeans. So
did he prove that?
The DNA don't mean nothing.
Did he prove it? It means everything. Hold on, V. Hold on, respectfully. Vasa, you back?
I'm back. Go ahead. Okay. I'm about to pull up to the second job. Y'all keep rocking, but I got some questions for Vernell.
Okay. So anyway, Vernell, look, I will say this. You was nervous at the beginning, and I could tell. You're shaking in your chair. You know what I'm saying? You look timid. You know what I'm saying? You was, because you didn't know how to argue this shit, bro. And I could tell. And it's gonna come out on tape. Everybody gonna see it, bro.
It's 3-0.
Okay.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
What round you in?
What round am I in?
What round did you win?
Well, he get to watch it again. So
what round did I win?
They ain't even giving it to you. They not even giving it to
you. What round did I win? Who answered the research question?
You didn't win nothing.
Who answered the research question?
Me.
Put a poll up.
Me. I got a primary woman that's born in the 17th.
You didn't have nothing. I don't think you understood. I don't think you understood the assignment, bro. Listen. No. I gotta be real. I gotta be real right now. Honey Clark and y'all are tripping right now because y'all know for a freaking fact that y'all trying to be nice right now. Instead of telling this man the truth. And it's okay though, because I already know. Mika thought that you was gonna really put up a fight, and she disappointed
you know.
And she just won't tell you. I don't. You know what? I ain't even gotta say it.
He ain't bring up that picture.
Can I jump in with 2 questions real quick for Vernell?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Vasa.
The first, and it's a 2-part question, but I'm gonna break it down to just 2 questions. The first one is, Vernell, according to you, when is the inception of the Seminole Band? When are they first documented on the world stage of history?
They first documented on the world stage of history is in the what is in the 17? What is in the basically what the
I told you twice in the past.
It's the goddamn Yamasee War.
When is that? Can we get a date? Can we get a location outside of just saying it's in the war?
You got 17. What we got? 1712, 1715.
Was there a council, a treaty? Was there any kind of documentation to argue this is the inception of a new ethnicity called Seminole?
Okay, so we're talking about the treaties. Okay, so
yeah, any documented evidence, not just saying it was the Yamasee War.
We got 17, but we got 1790 whenever they 1790 something, I think.
Okay, 1790 what? There was a treaty, there was a conference, there was a telephone call, there was an email. What happened?
Nothing. They just put it on paper, just putting it down to where paying the Creeks to run up on the black, to hunt black people, to hunt the black people in America. And
why would Black Seminoles be hunting black people? And I'm asking too many questions to get away from the second part.
No, I ain't talking about Black Seminoles. I'm talking about Creeks.
Okay. So the Creeks was there. Seminoles have always been there, but all of a sudden they hunting Black Seminoles?
They always been hunting Black Seminoles. I'll tell you that they did that back in 1685.
Okay, so they was hunting Black Seminoles in 1685, but Seminoles don't hit the scene until 1790.
Well, they was calling these people Cimarroons. These people
Okay,
was
that was okay.
Cimarroons.
Stop right there. That was my second part to the original question. Do you know the origins of the word Cimarron? What language is that? What Native American tribe was saying Cimarron?
I showed that with the Panama when they first discovered the Pacific Ocean.
No, that's not what I asked. I didn't ask where they was. I'm asking what language was it? What tribe
I
was
got
saying the
America.
word Cimarron? What Native American tongue has that in their vocabulary?
They didn't have no R in their vocabulary. That's why they put the L on
You
it.
jumping scenes again. Let's
They
answer
didn't have
Cimarron
the
first.
R in they didn't have the R in their
Let's
tongue.
answer.
That's why
Let's
they put
answer
the L on it.
Cimarron
That's
first. We'll
what
answer Cimarron first, and then because I've told you that in the past, we can explain why Seminole manifest. But go
okay.
ahead. What Native American tribe was saying the word Cimarron? What's the inception of it? What does it mean?
But these just white people calling these people this.
So Seminoles couldn't have always been here by self-identity if white people had to place this moniker on them.
No, the white people is finding these people over here with these people.
Hold on, repeat that.
The white people is finding these people over here with these people.
The white people is finding these people with what people?
The white people is finding the Black Seminoles with the Creek Seminoles.
So is the Creek Seminoles the same as the Panama Seminoles?
You say it's the hold on. No, the Black Seminoles is the same as the Panama Seminoles.
Do you know the name of the man who Francis Drake was introduced to the Pacific Ocean by? Do you know that man's name?
No, I know that he had a so-called they say that he had a friend that grew up with him in Spain and they was both slaves together and somehow he came on the boat to join him. He came on the boat to join him. He just hopped on the boat to come over here and he was with Sir Francis Drake whenever Sir Francis Drake had discovered the Pacific.
I think you conflating stories again.
That
But
ain't
go ahead
like
and finish.
I'm saying that they found nations over here. They found nations over here.
Okay, for the audience, y'all. The man who introduced Francis Drake to the Pacific Ocean, I heard you talk about that. Yes, he was classified as a Cimarron. Cimarron meant runaway slaves in Latin-based languages. The man who did paying homage to his tribe. You don't see the inception of Seminoles in Florida until the Treaty of Nichols Outpost.
No, matter of fact, we can take it back to 1597. We can take it back to 1597 whenever they ran up on the matter of fact, the Goulet people or the Gullah people, or they call the people whoever I guess whatever the name they tried to switch it up. That was the same area that they attacked because they said that the people.
Who is they? You keep saying the word they.
Okay.
Who, can you be more specific about what you're talking about? Because you're guessing. You're guessing right now. When you don't know something.
So when Mendez found St. Augustine in 1565. Now, by 1695, I'm not 1695, but 1597, that's when they ran up on the Gullah people, or the people that they called the Gullah people, or the people that they called the Goulet people, or that tribe, which is really the black people, because that's the same
Hold
area.
up, time out. So in 1597, you said in 1597, they ran up on some people and called them Gullah?
No, I'm saying, but that's that Goulet.
No. Listen to what you're saying. You said in 1597 they ran up on a group of black people that they called the Gullah.
I'm saying that they called.
You're making shit up, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not making it up.
Oh, it's just easy. If you don't know, it's just easy to say you don't know. Have the integrity to say it so you can learn.
Whatever the tribe name is spelled Guale. Whatever that tribe was down there, them it's the black people. They part of the Yamasee.
I said they came before 1619.
Yeah, that's before 1619. That's 1597.
No. What he's saying to you is you making up shit, bro.
I ain't making it up. I got the source.
You are. You don't know. We all can hear it.
I got
Vito, you don't know how you sound live, bro. We all can hear it. And I'm just gonna no. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, bro. You argue. The only thing that I commend you on, and I know you will do it, is you will show up. But as far as when it comes to the information, you have absolutely no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I got this.
I proved that without being disrespectful to you. I gave you a fair chance to hop up here and spew your shit. The research question is, who are the Black Seminoles? This was about the ethnicity of the people that's called the Black Seminoles. So once it's about that, when you start running to Oklahoma, running to Texas, doing all this other shit that I knew you was gonna do, I said I'm staying in Florida. I'm staying in Florida because you don't have the birth of the Black Seminole nowhere else. The birth of the Black Seminole is in Florida. That's its inception and its birthplace. It's born there. Before you get the Black Seminole Scouts and all this other stuff, you got to deal with that. So where did these people come from? And I politely defined these terms, and then I showed you what they were doing throughout and I didn't even go too in depth. I didn't talk about the corridor coming down South Carolina into Georgia. The reason why I didn't do that is because Gullah already educated you on that. Vasa had already talked to you about other parts of that. I didn't want to give any of that. But there was two things that I knew that you ain't seen outside of some other stuff that was mentioned tonight, and that was the fucking genetic makeup of the Seminoles and the Black Seminoles and the blood that was going on right there. Because the blood tells us that there was a very small amount of black admixture into that group of people. So now we know what the hell was going down. So that you still ain't got it together. Now I know I got Vasa, I know I got him off your point. But he don't know. So I can't let him just keep rambling and he don't know. Respectfully. Y'all gotta start now. Hold on. I'm finna be quiet. I'm finna go back to being quiet. I'm talking to everybody now. Y'all have to respectfully tell him his fuck ups, because if you don't tell him, you see what he's doing now. He's of the belief that he think he did something that he did not do.
You didn't show nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You done.
For every historical record mentioned, that I made sure that I had, first of all, there's something that you got to learn. It's called chronology. You had us in the 1700s. No. You had us in the 1700s. Then we was in the 1600s. Then we was in the 1500s when we still thought we was in the 1700s. Then you was all over. No, bro. You was all over the place. You had no methodology. And I proved that because I just knew. I said, that's why I said I ain't gonna put no slides together. But then about Thursday, I said, no, I can't do the people like that because this is a teaching moment. So I said, I'm gonna show him how this shit done because he don't really know how it's done. So I had to demonstrate that shit and walk you through a methodology to show you. But all I left off was my conclusion because I did not want to persuade the viewers and anyone who watched the video. I left my personal conclusion out of it because I wanted people to come to their own conclusion based on the information that you shown and the information that I shown in dealing with this subject matter. and you had nothing, bro. You gave me some videos of some people that's all out of context. You cherry picked it. You clipped at certain moments. You didn't let you no, bro. Because listen, you played one of the videos, and the black dudes was still talking about being African American. You played another video where the lady said, that's why you laughing.
Damn.
You played another video where the ladies clearly said, even in an interview, where she clearly said, I'm still American, but I still am, I have ties to Africa as well. But she said, I'm more American than I am African. She said that. I'm telling you, if I want to clip you up and go to work on your shit, you will not show your face over here again. And I mean that. But no, but your ego, you know what? I'm wrong. Your ego will
ain't got no reason.
And Mika and Honey, I'm very disappointed in both of you because y'all had a great
Shawn did a great job.
Nah.
He broke it down real well.
Y'all had a great opportunity to
I said what I said already. So quit crying.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, my nigga,
When I asked him about what did he prove in this, and what
he showed more videos of people talking and whatnot.
I showed primary. That's a primary. That's
not primary.
That's a Black Seminole woman that was a wife to a chief.
Then you misrepresented. You misrepresented the pains. You try to sit here and say that she was amongst these people. No. You know why she called herself Seminole? Oh, I would let because it's his people. I would let Vasa tell you because he's related to him. I would let him.
The pains. Her son just the pains that got the her son just the pains.
Listen, Vernell. Listen,
Speaking on my
listen,
family again
Vernell.
and don't even know it, Vino. The Pains is my mama's side of the family. Factors is my daddy's side.
Yeah, man, I got cancer.
And the ironic thing is, if you knew the history, and this is some dope black. This is hold on, Vino, because there is an audience, and I'm pretty sure a majority of them are not gonna know this. Pompey Factor and Isaac Payne rolled together, lived together at the same time. Both got Medal of Honors from the U.S. military. You're shaking your head, so that means once again you're digging in prominence. You're digging in prominence and extracting names to remember. You started as a bowlegs. You was a horse.
Don't put your head down.
Now you a Pain. The only one you haven't claimed yet is the Factors. Now, during the debate, I was working. This is as simple as Wikipedia, y'all. You can go to Wikipedia. Shawn did this the last time you two spoke. The Afro-Seminole language on Wikipedia. You can pull up a primary of a sister speaking it. But if you read into it, you said nobody speaks Gullah in Oklahoma, where you can witness a woman speak it in Oklahoma for free and won't get strike to show it. If Shawn wants to do it, it's his platform. He can rock out. And like I said, I'll meet you in Wewoka anytime. Set up the date.
We just showed my great auntie.
No, you didn't. No. How you gonna play a video? Then gonna say this is your great auntie. These your people.
Great auntie.
You don't know. No, you ain't showed no evidence of none of that. And I ain't taking no anecdotal accounts from you, from anybody. No, nigga. Listen, when my grandmama talk, I'm gonna show you the evidence of my grandmama talk. If my auntie talking, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go to my auntie and film her doing this. I don't need no video. Yeah, you keep, bro. None of them helped you. What was the title of the debate? Hold on. Be honest. What was the title of the debate?
You talk too much, nigga. You done, nigga.
What was the title of the debate?
Why are you scrambling?
You talk more than me. What was the title of the debate?
Why are you scrambling? Who the Black Seminoles?
What's the title of the debate? Say it again.
Seminoles.
What? I didn't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Say it.
You seen it.
You say it.
You seen it.
No. Who are the Black Seminoles?
Right. Me.
You didn't show not a single.
What?
Not one.
I'll show you the cudgels.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't show nothing.
The same twins. You know what are the Africa?
Okay. So did you show? Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to give you a chance to be clear. Did you show? Don't say nothing. Did you show that? Okay, all these people that you said you showed. Did you show their ethnicities of being here in the Americas before Columbus?
Yes, I'll show you the.
No, you didn't. You failed miserably.
No, I didn't.
Just take the teaching moment, bro, and just move on from it.
No, I didn't.
You failed miserably.
And show no slave records or no slave ships.
I didn't have to show it. It wasn't about slave records. This whole thing. See, that's where you fucked up at. This debate. Hold on. Mika.
Yeah.
What was the debate supposed to be about?
Him showing who the Seminoles are.
Did he show you who the Seminoles are?
Yeah, you seen it.
No.
Yeah, you seen it. You looking at one right now
Honey,
for sure.
Honey Clark.
That's for
Your
shit.
damn show ain't no Seminole. Honey Clark.
Yes.
What was the name of the debate?
Are the Black Seminoles African or like Indian or something?
And you know that same. They was
Okay.
in.
Did he show evidence of them being here before Columbus, or what he claimed to be Aboriginal or indigenous?
No.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Okay. So people just joined. There's people that's just now joining that wasn't here before. Go to the part of your presentation that would be the evidence of these people being here before the Europeans. Go ahead. Find it. When you find it, I'm gonna share your screen. Let's go to the part. I'm giving you a chance. Let's go to the part. Yeah, he's stupid. Dumbass nigga said it wasn't no slave ships. It's crazy. Just get to the part where you have the evidence showing that they are indigenous.
Yeah. All you have to do is prove that little part.
Hey, Sean.
What's up?
If you got time, because I'm about to clock in at the second job, I don't have to get off. But peep that newspaper article.
Yeah, I seen it.
It starts off with the Cujo family.
I already know. I seen it. That's why I'm trying to give him.
Seminole. This nigga talking about.
No, hold on. I'm trying to give him an opportunity. I'm trying to give him an opportunity to show us the evidence on where he said he proved that these people were indigenous.
And since he tossed that little insult that he think he got, and he loved throwing that every time we have an interaction, where is your CDIB card?
You said you're Seminole.
Where is it?
Just because I ain't.
Nah. Don't fix your face now.
Now you ain't
Fix
no
your face now,
Seminole.
nigga. Don't fix your face now.
That don't mean the nigga ain't no Seminole. I'm connected so many ways.
Seminole,
It don't matter.
If he's so connected, where's your CDIB card?
I showed the records.
If we
Shawn
meet
P,
up,
I showed the records where I was the indigenous to the Americas, and you thought you had me, Shawn P. But what I'm trying to tell you, Shawn P, that my peoples is indigenous. We're the Black Seminoles, Shawn P. Just look at here, right here where it says African American. You ain't got to worry about the African part. That's where they misnomered, they misnamed us, and they was just calling us whatever they want, Shawn P.
No, Sean did that voice real good. No, who was cool.
So is this the part? Is this the part right here? Is this the part? Nah, what are you doing? Is this the part, Vino, where you said you proved that the Black Seminoles are indigenous to the Americas? Because you're taking us to Texas.
Yeah.
This is not proof. This is not proof. One more time. This is not proof that you claimed. Because guess what? Let's look at the whole thing since you want to play that game. Are you where you want to be?
You say what?
Are you where you want to be?
Yeah, what's up?
This gonna be your proof.
Yeah, Betsy Payne.
This is gonna be your proof.
Her name is Betsy Payne.
I'm one more time. I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Is this going to be your proof?
Yes. Because y'all saying she's saying the same thing that I'm saying, and y'all telling her a person that was born in the 1790s.
She does not say what you trying to make her say.
She ain't saying she African.
You don't know what she's saying because you clipped her up. You ain't play the whole video. You ain't play the whole context of what she's saying.
What you mean? The whole thing?
Does she say in this video that you're showing that she is indigenous to the Americas? That she's black and she been here?
She say that she a Seminole.
No, that's not what I asked you.
That Seminole is in her blood.
That's not what I asked you. Yeah, it could be. I don't mind that because admixture did transpire and take place. A lot of black people thought they had Indian in their family till they got a goddamn DNA test.
No, don't do that. Don't do that to the OG. No.
What you mean? Don't do that to the OG?
Don't disrespect.
I already said admixture could have happened, but that don't prove that she's Seminole.
Quadruple.
You know what? Let me let you embarrass yourself again. Play your video, bro. You ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Now let's see if she say she a full.
Article. One Seminole War survived the Everglades. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Territory, November 18th. Of course, this is before Oklahoma became a state. It will be interesting to know that there has been discovered recently at Fort Clark in western Texas a woman known as Aunt Betsy Payne, who lives with a small detached remnant of the Seminoles in that vicinity. Aunt Betsy Payne believes she is over 100 years old. So, of course, 1899, she was born in the late 1700s, probably 1790s. She stoutly maintains that she has Seminole blood in her veins, though her color and features indicate that she is certainly a full-blooded African, and, you know, that's kind of a biased and racist statement. She evidently has lived with the Seminoles all her life, and she is regarded highly by the Indians because she is the widow of Chief Payne, a famous warrior. Aunt Betsy says that she has grown as a grown girl when the trouble occurred between the United States and Spain over the invasion of Florida by General Jackson. Spain ceded Florida to the United States in 1821, and by the terms of the treaty made between the great powers, all runaway slaves were to be returned to their masters upon proof of ownership. Aunt Betsy says that one exception was made to this clause in favor of the Negro wives of the Seminole warriors. She distinctly remembers that King Payne told her all about this matter and asked her if she would not like to be his squaw, warning her at the time that the white soldier.
Rewind that back and play that part right there again. Rewind that back and play that part right there again. Go back and play that part. Go back 30 seconds. We can't hear you because your mic muted. Go back 30 seconds and play that part again. Listen to what she said. What he say, she say. What he say, she say.
Betsy says that she has grown as a grown girl when the trouble ceased. She stoutly maintains features indicate that she is certainly a full-blooded African, and, you know, that's kind of a biased and racist statement. She evidently has lived with the Seminoles all her life, and she is regarded highly by the Indians because she is the widow of Chief Payne, a famous warrior. Aunt Betsy says that she has grown as a grown girl when the trouble occurred between the United States and Spain over the invasion of Florida by General Jackson. Spain ceded Florida to the United States in 1821, and by the terms of the treaty made between the great powers, all runaway slaves were to be returned to their masters upon proof of ownership. Aunt Betsy says that one exception was made to this clause in favor of the Negro wives of the Seminole warriors. She distinctly remembers that King Payne told her all about this matter and asked her if she would not like to be his squaw, warning her at the time that the white soldiers might make lying papers and take her away unless she is consented to the arrangement that he had suggested.
And I got way more primaries.
No, he playing it because she ain't. They ain't.
No,
he ain't saying playing it because she ain't. They ain't.
Yeah,
he ain't
it said
saying
it
what
right here. What you talking about?
he
It said it right
playing
here.
the video. He
Said it right here.
playing the video.
Attached remnant of the Seminoles in that vicinity. Aunt Betsy Payne believes she is over 100 years old, born in the late 1700s, probably 1790s. She stoutly maintains that she has Seminole blood in her veins, though her color and features indicate that she is certainly a full-blooded African. That's kind of...
There you go. What you talking about? It's over with.
No, you did no,
Yeah.
you didn't listen. No,
Because, yeah.
you did no, you didn't listen.
Yeah.
Because
And then
right when
right
you
there,
no, you keep trying
hold
to
on,
fucking play games.
hold on.
Right when they sit there and said, he said right no, he said right here and specifically said, he said it specifically, and you tried to play the games about what her husband told her. He turned around and said what he told her. That minute he made a distinguishment that she was different from the Indian person, which was her husband. That's killing you. And you don't even I don't need you to talk. I need you to listen. That this is a part of your listening comprehension. This ain't even proof that the people was indigenous. You ain't even proved that. She's dealing with an actual Seminole chief. He admitted that. He even said that she definitely looks like a black person. She is a black person, but she's hung around these Seminoles for so long and she's been in a relationship with the chief. You do not prove that the black Seminoles are indigenous to America. You didn't. We gave you an opportunity to do so and you failed and you keep failing. And that's why I said, you know what? Go back. Let's look at your evidence. Let's weigh it and see. But you, on the other hand, wanted to be disingenuous and then try to sit here and say all of this shit. So I was letting you rock your little video out. So now I'm gonna put you on the back burner. Watch this real quick. Watch this. Since you want to bring up some shit, bro. Here you go. I don't need to go back to my presentation. It was too complicated for you. It went over your head. So I'm gonna run it on down real quick. Seminole Nation split by racial dispute. Blacks in the tribe argue that history is thicker than blood. History is thicker than blood. Why they arguing this shit? Wilbur Cudjoe holds a piece of his identity in a black wrinkled hand. The white plastic card says he is a member of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. It also says he is the descendant of African slaves. I ain't even saying no more. I ain't even got to put it back on the screen. The conversation fucking over.
Hold on. But let me show you.
You want me to put it back on there? You want me to put it back on the screen? Do you want to get embarrassed again? I be trying to save you from yourself, and you just can't help it. You can't help it. You just got to get your shit split down the middle. You kept bringing up the cudgel. You kept on trying to make them indigenous. Read it. Can you see it? If not, I'll help you out. I'll back out so it won't be so blurry.
Hold on.
The white plastic card says he is a member of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. It also says he is the descendant of African slaves, people who escaped plantations in the 1700s to join the Seminoles. There's clearly a distinction that you can't make. And then you try to play the game. No. You try to play the game. That is one of the reasons why I showed you the genetic data regarding who the Seminoles were and who the Black Seminoles were, because genetically we're dealing with the ethnicity of these people and they were separate. And once we separated them, we know who made up the Black population, and they wasn't already here before the white people showed up. They wasn't. The Spanish even told you in their first encounters that there was some Africans left here by other English. They said that. You, on the other hand, try to sit here and ignore all of this shit. I try to be nice, be calm, turn over a new leaf, let you get your bullshit out, but now you're going way too far. And then you put a video up, and it's supposed to have a news clipping that can't nobody find to be able to cross-reference the news.
1996.
No.
1996 and 2002.
Pull the news clipping. Pull the news clipping up. Get off the video. Get off the video. Pull up the news clipping. Get off the video and pull up the news clipping.
All right.
You literally came to try to, bro. This wasn't even a debate, but you came up here to, from your perspective, to debate me using a fucking video.
Yeah. What you mean?
The audacity.
You didn't even show nothing. I showed the primary.
Keep saying I ain't showing nothing. You just keep living in your fantasy world that I ain't showing nothing.
I show where they can find it at.
You keep doing what you're doing, bro. You embarrass your motherfucking self. You embarrass your motherfucking self.
You see?
Let me continue. It says tribal leaders say that Cudjoe and 1,500 other Black Seminoles who cannot trace at least 1/4 of their ancestry to Native people may not sit on the tribal council. And those without at least 1/8 Native blood, they say, are ineligible to vote in the tribal elections or share the 42 million Congress allotted in the early 1990s as compensation for running the Seminoles out of Florida more than 100 years earlier. So you ain't finna sit here and play this dumbass game when you are in Oklahoma and this whole fucking Post the World article exists, and it was published Sunday, September 22nd, 2002, when this man Wilbert Cudjoe was up there telling these people about this shit. And you finna sit up? No, bro. No, we asked you for evidence. We asked you for evidence, and every piece of evidence that you keep trying to show and prove ain't helping you. And you pulled up. Hold on. Do you want me to rewind it where you simply said that the people in Florida was living on an African reservation, basically in an African community? You named the community and it had Africa in it.
That's lookership.
What you mean it's lookership? You the one who showed it and said it. You said the original name. Let me rewind it, bro.
That's what they called them.
You said
people in that area.
Yo, hold on, Mika. What you say?
Oh no, that wasn't me.
Oh, you literally sit here and said they call. You said the people called it this particular name, and the name had Africa in it, and now you're gonna say they weren't Africa. Why the fuck they naming shit? Why black people naming shit out of Africa if it ain't Africa? Why would they tie the shit to Africa if they ain't Africa?
Because they found black people over there.
What do you mean? They didn't find shit, nigga. The runaways was coming to them.
No.
So they ain't finding shit.
I told you.
Why you lying, bro? Why you lying? Why you lying?
They did their first raid.
Why you lying? Answer my question. Why are you lying?
Spain went to war in
Why
1597.
are you lying, Vino?
Spain went to war in 1597.
Why are you lying, bro?
I ain't lying. I got the source.
You is lying.
I got the source. Show my screen.
Share your screen.
Yep.
So you can lie again. That's what you want me to do? You want me to share, you want to share your screen again? You want me to share your screen again so you can lie? Let's go. I'm for it.
Yeah, this nigga, you done? I got this nigga in the corner, man.
Who in the corner? Can you look at the screen, bro? You dead at this.
You in the corner.
Oh, okay.
You know he just gonna keep saying that because he's not
Yeah,
gonna
this
admit
is the
it.
same people that you talking about
Why?
that went
No. Keep on. No, Paul. No, Paul. Don't play nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the screen.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
One interesting observation was that although the Black Americans toured Bunce Island, where the African slaves were held before being sold, none of modern-day Africans wanted anything to do with this place. This don't say nothing about them denouncing Africa and all of that. If you do, is this the now? This ain't even the source. This part of your little stupid ass video. Can you scroll up? Can you scroll up in the article or no? Can you scroll up in the article or no? I'm asking you a question.
This
Is
article.
this the article or is it a video?
This is the video right here.
Okay, hold on. Let's go find a fucking article. What's the title of the article?
Well, the Black Seminoles in the Oklahoma.
Man, here we go. I asked you for the goddamn title.
1996.
What?
1996.
Watch, I ain't gonna find a fucking thing.
Yeah, you gonna see that?
You was a fucking liar, bro.
1996. Oh,
No,
man.
what's the title of the fucking article?
I don't know what the title is, but yeah, it's on there.
Hold up.
Get your source.
So he's showing us some shit on the screen, and then he don't know the title of where the fuck he got it.
1996. The Oklahoma.
No, bro. That's not helping. That's not helping nobody. Hold on. Hold on. This meant the world to me, even though I am doubtless an American first. Look, she ain't even denying it. We felt a great deal of camaraderie with Africans. She ain't even denouncing the Africanness.
American first.
She ain't even denouncing the Africanness.
American first.
No. Just read the first sentence you got right there where your arrow. She ain't even denouncing the Africanness. No. Do not move it.
I'm an American first.
Do not move it. Yeah, she says I'm an American first. But I felt great camaraderie. We felt great deal of camaraderie with Africans because she knows that she is also African. That means she's hyphenating it. She's saying, but I'm an American. Hold on. She says, I'm an American first. An African second.
Yeah.
I'm but that's not denouncing Africa. She telling you she from fucking.
And I'm telling you that her peoples was found over here, nigga.
No, you ain't. How? Where the evidence at? Where the evidence at? You know, where the evidence at? Where the evidence? No. Where the evidence? You see what you just did? You see what you just did, bro? The Oklahoman. You see what you just did, bro?
Yeah, hold on.
Now I gotta try to go through the fucking Oklahoman and find a goddamn article. And I don't know where the fuck it is in 96. As if that what month in 96? We ain't got the lady name. We don't know who we talking about. No, go back to the shit, bro. Vino, stop. Go back to the where the fuck you just came from. This nigga sit up here and play videos, y'all. They try to debate me using videos this whole time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
This is crazy. That's why you ain't got no evidence. You can't prove shit. You can't even source up, nigga. Go back to the lady's the article from the Oklahoman. What are you doing, bro?
Well, he
Go,
gonna learn today.
go to the Oklahoma, bro. Go back to where you was with the lady. Damn.
Maybe it's a video. That's why he can't do
It
it.
is a video. That's why I tell them
Yeah.
yeah, then he
That's why
kept
he
on. He
can't
tried.
do it.
Listen, he tried to cherry pick and clip some shit up out of there, and he couldn't do it. Just stay
Right.
right
He
there.
didn't bring nothing. He
I just
tight.
need you to be
Yeah,
quiet.
but that's how you do it. But you're gonna learn.
Nah, you do it the way I do it. Cook.
No, you don't.
East side style.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put this nigga in the back for a minute. Why? God damn, I can't even think straight. One interesting observation was that although the Black Americans, Oklahoma in 1996. Give me a second, bro. Like, god damn. It says in 1996, published article, Blacks Trace Their Heritage. So, here we go. I don't need you no more, nigga. I don't need you no more, nigga. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Because you wanna. That's what I said. Like I can take my time and I can get surgical.
No,
I can
you
get
can't.
surgical. And you
3-0.
want to play game? No, you want to sit here and play games, and you
3-0.
want to act like I can't get to it. February 16th, 1996. The article dropped. Hold up. Why the fuck it take me to these fucking crackers? Here we go. At least one day a week, Wanda, let's look at her name. Wanda Brown Dean. Ladies and gentlemen, we now know the lady's name. Wades tirelessly through pages and pages of names looking for the name. Brown's Dean's mission is familiar to other people who sat alongside her at the tables of Oklahoma Historical Society Library. She is searching for a certain name, a connection that links the past and future together with the present, the ancestral ties, the roots from whence she came. Years ago, Brown Dean of Oklahoma joined Black Americans who are intrigued enough about their family history to begin a genealogy search. Now it has become sort of a hobby. The majority of the people I know think it's great. They tell people if you want to know anything about your roots, call Wanda. Brown Dean said, smile. I found relatives for my in-laws that didn't even know they had. Charles Butler, director of who? African American Studies Department at the University of Oklahoma, said he believes knowing one's ancestral heritage can benefit a person's both individually and culturally. Here we go. I don't think a person has total awareness of himself without information. You may learn some stuff that you didn't want to know, but it's important to know the good and the bad, Butler said. Haley's roots go deep. It has been said that even author Alex Haley was surprised at America's phenomenal reaction of his best-selling book Roots, published in the mid-'70s. And when the book was later transformed into a widely popularized television miniseries, the notion of tracing one's heritage, especially among Black Americans, became quite fashionable. Brown Dees said Roots spurred her genealogy quest. The idea that Haley traced his heritage all the way back to African village meant that almost anyone with determination could research their own family history, she said. For Brown Dean, the knowledge that she didn't know much about her ancestors was an added impetus to search out history. When I saw Ruth's story, I started realizing my mother didn't know anything about her father's name. I was drawn into it, she said. Brown Dean, 57, said she began her research in 1979 by interviewing her oldest known living relative on her father's side of the family. From his recollection, Brown Dean says she was able to begin extensive research. Remarkably, every relative led to yet another relative until at last she reached impasse. Brown Dean says she did what her curiosity dictated she do. She hired a professional genealogist. I need to help, Brown Dean said. The professional finder Brown Dean had envisioned a white relative who was willing to be discovered was found in Cobb County, Georgia, Brown Dean said. Brown Dean said her newfound relative had been conducting genealogy search and happened to be very interested in the information Brown Dean had about the family. Piecing together what they each had learned, the two women ascertained that the family's white ancestors immigrated from Wales. The family then settled in Virginia, moving to Carolinas, and finally Cobb County, where Brown Dean's slave ancestors was acquired. Right before the Civil War, the white family migrated to Smith County, Texas, and took their slaves with them, Brown Dean said. She said to look at the data from the 1870 U.S. Census data, which lists Brown Dean's ancestors as mulattoes, a mix of white and black heritage. Brown Dean said she and her white relatives from Georgia have kept in contact. Brown Dean said she visited them once and attended family gatherings in Smith County, Texas. Although both were from Texas, Brown Dean said her parents met and married in Clearview, Oklahoma, where she was later born. In 94, in 94, Old Slave Cemetery, this is a long article, was found in Smith County, Texas, and another relative was found. Brown Dean said her close genealogy search at the time, believing to be too difficult to go back beyond slavery. Here's my thing again. Every person that's doing this shit keeps going back and finding slavery in there, and y'all try to deny this shit. There were only a number before 1860 properties instead of human beings. The genealogy says she gained insight into her past, such as the fact that many of her relatives were considered among the prominent colored people in the area which they lived, and although some weren't educated, they owned some property. She's now tracing her first husband's genealogy so that her children would have ancestral information for both sides of the family. Brownlee said her current search has rescinding Indian roles at historical society. Her children, she said, are not too concerned with that matter. Somebody along the line might be interested in beyond the first cousin. They are not interested, she said. History lost and found. Brown Dean's The Quest for Black Ancestors Beyond Slavery can be too difficult. That is no surprise, Butler, head of African American Studies, said. But history has always been an important part of Black culture. He said most African villages had storytellers or griots, as they were called, who were given the awesome task of keeping village history updated and passing it down through generations. Butler said many tribes did not have any type of written language, thus they had the trust of oral historians such as griots to remember history. Butler said Black family history was torn asunder under the American slavery system. Slavery itself was not a new phenomenon, but American slavery was unprecedented because it was the first to separate people totally from their past, he said. It was specifically designed to break the families, extinguish that a link of purpose slavery about destroyed the ability to maintain families, said. So she goes back to the movie Roots, talk about that, gets into all this other shit. And then let's see if we can find this part where V-Note cuts her off. And she says right here, many of African slaves come from tribal villages, yada, 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 yada. But also says justification for slavery was the Africans were less than humans. Following that theory, why would you want a need for family background? This is why V-Note don't want to be related to Africa right here. Why we would need for a family background, language, and all of that, you weren't even a human. Butler said African slaves like Haley's Kunta probably wanted to preserve their heritage. They just couldn't keep it under the system from Sierra Leone to Seminole County. Slaves isolated on a rice plantation in South Carolina preserved much of the African culture and family history. Okay. Why you ain't show us that, V-Note? In the 1988 interview, the ability of the slaves to keep their link to their ancestor eventually resulted in an incredible journey to Africa for Freddie Cujo, her husband Lance Cujo, and brother-in-law Lawrence Cujo. Lance and Lawrence Cujo are now deceased. What the fuck is you walking me into? What's this boy name? V-Note. Joseph Opala had traveled to Sierra Leone. We all know this story while doing research, and the conclusion of the Black Seminole freedmen. Can y'all still hear me? The Black Seminole freedmen of rules. Oh, let's just skip ahead. Let's find where he snipped this shit. Okay. Cool. I'm just trying to get to where he cut this shit out. Because this shit ain't saying nothing, but they related to Africans.
Hold on, but go up, but you passed it.
Cujo's. Look at that. Oh, here you go, right here. Ain't this right here where you was talking? Yeah, right here where you cut.
Right there, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, I want you to clip it. Here she goes. She said both Lance and Lawrence Cujo were members of the tribal council of the Seminole Indian Nation up until their deaths in '94. Cujo said she and her husband and brother-in-law were welcomed by the Mindi tribe in Sierra Leone. It just meant the world to me, even though with the Africans, she said. It's cliche, I know, but unless you know where you've been, you'll never know where you're going, the Oklahoma City woman said. Once interesting observation was that although the Black Americans toured Bunce Island where the African slaves were held being sold, none of the modern day Africans wanted anything to do with this place. They believed it was haunted, Cujo said. Searching for history, although difficulties may have had of Black Americans interested in doing genealogy, they should not let this deter them from seeking out their family's history, Butler said. Everybody ought to do it. It is important to go through the process more than you will find in filling the gaps. This lady is clearly saying she has African ancestry, and you got her in your fucking video trying to denounce that shit the whole time she telling you, and you try to deny it, bro. This whole shit is about going back to Africa, bro. She
Hey, Sean.
found her white slave master. She did the
Time
same shit all the
out.
Aboriginals do every time that we goddamn get to searching their names and looking up their history and their family. We go right back to some fucking white people.
Time out. Time.
Hey, Sean. Can you hear me, bro?
Fuck
Oh, Sean
you
thing is
talking
acting
about
up.
time out, nigga.
Can
Sean,
y'all
can
hear
you
me?
hear us?
Oh,
Is that you, Mika?
yeah, I
Can
hear
you
you.
hear
Go
me?
ahead, Voss.
Okay.
Because he don't know the material. I gave y'all
Yeah, I
the
hear y'all.
link. It's not Joseph Apollo that we need to look at for the Gullah language connection. I put the man responsible for looking at these pigeon languages in the back check just now. And it'll go into it if you want to. His name is Ian Hancock for the audience.
I think Sean froze. Look at his picture.
Oh yeah, he cussing V note in that. And to the audience, I would share these links with you guys, but I'm not modded to share. But if y'all can hear me, Ian Hancock, and you should be able to just type that in.
Voss, you
IAN.
can put the shit in the you can put the shit in the public chat. The links. You can just go to the other chat instead of doing it private. You can do it public. Y'all can't hear me?
No, we can hear you. It was just freezing before. So the
Yeah, I know
poll
what it was.
said you won. So you
We don't
good.
want to do. We don't want to go by that. We don't want to go by the poll. We want people to watch it, and then they can leave a comment about
Yeah.
what they. Yeah, we ain't gonna go by that. I see your Hancock in the chat, Voss. Hold up. Vino, you done, bro. We ain't playing no more of your video, bro.
No, you just taught me something new
You
about
wasted
how
our
to do
time.
that, Sean. So I was going back
Yeah,
and
so from
sharing
now,
these
yeah.
links.
I mean, you on
Yeah.
here. Just use the Mossy, bro. Just go under the regular comments for the Mossy and just post it. Don't it's cool.
3-0.
If you're on a panel, don't it let you post as the Mossy in the StreamYard?
I think it's showing as me in the YouTube chat. Maybe somebody can verify that.
I seen the one with you. I have to approve it, but it ain't showing the
Yeah.
whole link. So
Yeah,
something's
he not a
broken on it.
mod, so it's not coming out.
No, I got. That's why I say if you just do it from the, if it lets you do it from the message. But hold up, I got it. That boy Vernell, boy. That boy Vernell. You shitted on yourself. You're poor representation. You only get props for showing up, nigga. Cause you know them other dudes that you be rocking with, they ain't showing up for this real. They're scared of their ass whooping. You'll take. I will give it. You'll take an ass whooping, and
You
thank
look
you, and
crazy.
thank you, say.
You look
Well, I
crazy.
gotta
If I
give him
can
props.
put up the other one,
You look crazy right now.
man, you was talking crazy, talking about how I pulled up your whole source, nigga, and she was debunking your dumb ass. Ain't now one of the motherfuckers talking about being indigenous, nigga. You better be
Hold on.
glad you sit on the panel.
Hold on. So she got records going back to Europe, but ain't got no records going back to Africa.
No, that ain't what she said. You ain't.
Damn.
Let me give people the whole article. Black taking back their heritage. No, she found a slave master, and that was from Georgia. That's what she said. Then she went on the other part. She spent 11 days in Africa. What are you talking about? She
This
killed
dude
you.
is funny as fuck.
You see how stupid he.
Where the
You know,
African?
hey man.
Where the
Hey,
African?
hey, no, you know what? I ain't even finna kick you off, bro.
All
I
right.
ain't even finna.
Yeah, all
I ain't
right.
even finna kick you off.
Yeah, all right.
I had, yeah. What was what?
Nah, you ain't gonna get nothing from. You got all the information you wanted recorded. You know, they could come and watch it. They're gonna see. They're gonna see.
This man had me pull up. It didn't even give us the full article, but cherry picked the article, and then the whole time the fucking article, the lady is telling you that she African. Go fucking figure that. Go fucking figure that, bro. You just a waste of fucking time, bro. You seriously a waste of fucking time. He left. I didn't kick him off. He left.
But the thing about it, that like
Yeah, look at this
bastard
dumbass
people.
nigga in the chat. Look at this dumbass nigga. That could your story fake. Zora Neale Hurston plagiarized the whole story from a white woman named Emma Lagnon Roche. I'm calling cap. Prove it. Go get the primary evidence then. If the Cujo, what Cujo, he just sit here and said the Cujo story fake. He don't even know what the fuck we talking about. He just showed up. That just show you how dumb he is. What the fuck you doing over here anyway? You scared of reality. This is where y'all come to die. That's why y'all avoid this shit.
Is that another apple?
Running off with your mouth, don't know what you talking about.
You know what's crazy? None of them would admit, like,
This
okay,
is where
yeah,
you
maybe
come to
you got a
die.
point. Right.
Right, like Mr. He just be talking. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you don't even know what you talking about. We just put the people on the screen the whole 9 yards. The fuck is you talking about? Story fake. Yeah. Everybody we talking about, all y'all go back to Africa. You are Alabama African. That's Cosmine, ain't it? Yeah. You are Alabama African. Let me put this back on the screen for Cosmine. Yeah. That's why y'all don't challenge none of the information presented. Cause y'all some bitches. Scared of real information. Your whole panel, you and your sidekicks. Bet you won't comment now, nigga.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. I'm glad I
Let
ain't
me
no
put it back
bitch.
on the
So
screen. Before my shit start fucking up. I don't respect none of y'all. You don't see my screen yet, do you? No. Your mother fake, nigga. How you gonna say some shit fake? We just put the prime. It's an
Hit the
indigenous
link. Hit
religion
the
is
link.
fake, nigga.
Hit the link. Sean, can you hear anybody talking?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Don't be scared, y'all. Hit the link.
You see that? You see that? You try to call something fake? You see that? Wilbert Cudjoe. There you go, right there. Wilbert Cudjoe. He holds a piece of his identity in a black wrinkled hand. The white plastic card says he is a member of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. It also says he is the descendant of African slaves, people who escaped plantations in the 1700s to join the Seminoles. Yeah. Fake, huh? Fake, huh? Fake, huh? Retarded ass. That's why y'all don't show up over here. That's why y'all don't come around these parts. You'll pop in and pop out because you can't refute the information. Y'all can't deal with real scholarship. Y'all be sitting over there lying on all these other channels, making up all these claims, saying all this old dumbass shit about what y'all don't want to be because you want to hate yourself. Yeah, you from Alabama. You was enslaved. Your peoples was slaves in Alabama. Cotton picking ass Cosmon. Running around here trying to call something fake with the primary sitting on the screen. Dumbass. Yeah, don't none of y'all want it. I'm still breaking up me.
No.
Yeah, he don't want no smoke.
I don't know what this dude talking about. Play the rock. He must have missed the whole thing.
Yeah, he trying to pop in. You know what I mean? They scared of it. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, dirty ass Alabama cotton picking Negro. You from one of the dumbest states in America. The educational level in Alabama is pathetic. That's why we used to go down there and make money off y'all, because y'all was stupid. We go down there and say y'all all kind of bullshit and get away with it because y'all dumbasses don't know the value of shit. Y'all educational system sucks. And the ones that made it out and got an education seem to tend to do better than all you back road living motherfuckers. And you was from somewhere down there by Evergreen. You was definitely picking cotton. This man whole shit right here. You finna try to sit here and say it's fake. He's sitting here telling you what's going down. Intermarriage and time have blurred the lineage of many Indians and tribes. Black blood flows strong through the Narragansett. Oh, I can't say that in Rhode Island. See, it's saying all of that, bro. Like, what the fuck y'all talking about? Y'all ain't indigenous to America. Y'all ain't aboriginal. Y'all ain't been here. Y'all peoples came off a boat. You motherfuckers was enslaved. And for those who didn't come off a boat, came through the Caribbeans on some whole underhanded shit. Every black person in America is descendants of people from Africa. Period. Point. Fucking blank. Let's keep it a buck. You need to go over there and get some research.
You just brought up an interesting point. The underhanded Caribbean statement. Before the Black Seminoles came to Oklahoma, they went back to the Caribbeans. They went to Andros Island and set up what is now Red Bay. And as they studied these people in modern times, ironically, they're classified as having the most West African culture than any other people in the diaspora over here in the Americas. So how is it that you got Seminoles practicing West African culture in the Caribbean?
Bro,
that's for the people on the back of the
bus. They crooks, bro. stealing people cultures, and then trying to run around here and act like it's theirs because you want to deny your Africanness. Fucking pathetic. You want to be anything but yourself. You hate yourself that bad, you can't even look yourself in the fucking mirror. Fucking crazy. Crazy. What not a coincidence that I think he might just be listening. Man, there's been a steady flow of people coming in and up out of this joker for real. Hey, listen, man, this shit was over with. You can catch the replay. You know what I'm saying? You see who argued it. It's who are the Black Seminole? Were they native, indigenous, or African? Were they native, indigenous, or African? You know what I'm saying? Rasa said drop off this little freebie on y'all. So we're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna send y'all something. Another little source right here. This shit crazy.
You
Look
want
at
to do
this
this
answer talking
Andros
about.
Island one? Well, I can just read it real quick.
Hold on. Did I put it in the chat? Let me put this one in the chat. Nah, we ain't got to give them too much, Ross.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they need to wait. They need to wait on that smoke. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go on and end this show. Let y'all got some.
Right, hands down, Shawn did a great job. He presented nicely. The other dude just did videos.
Yeah, I was asleep. Yeah, of course you was asleep. Self-hate is a disease. Damn, why Vino get 9%? It should have been 100 to nothing. That's because Vino voted for himself. He voted for himself. He got like 4 profiles, so he had to give him some type of percentage. I ain't tripping on that though, you know what I'm saying?
All for nothing, Sean. One of them newspaper articles was a Juneteenth article in 1999.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because you got to remember, this is how Juneteenth creeps into Mexico is via the Black Seminoles and understanding the origin stories. So it's been a big thing here. You got to remember, in Oklahoma, well, in Indian territory, the Seminoles was the most lenient out of the 5 tribes, but you still get your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm going? So that became a cultural staple. So why wouldn't they cover that as, they unpacked in the store?
Yeah, crazy.
Where they go and where they take it into Mexico, I can't speak Spanish, but it translates to Emancipation Day or the Day of the Blacks, and the last one is the Dance of the Blacks.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Vernell for showing up, getting his ass kicked.
Yeah,
You know
gotta
what I'm
give him props for at
saying?
least that because he could have ran.
Yeah. Little teaching moment for Vernell. He was gonna run. You best believe it. He was running. His ego brought him here. I ain't gonna lie to you. His ego definitely brought him here.
Yeah, his ego also still making him think that he won something.
Yeah, but I mean that's typical. That's how it usually go with people like that. Like they get into stuff like that because that's just who they
Yeah.
are.
He just in denial. He don't want to accept the information, and that's crazy.
This boy didn't even answer the research question. The dude was just up here just freestyling and shit. Motherfucking YouTube video he put together. Like that's just disrespectful. Like, I don't know who he think he was dealing with.
I just don't understand how they get African mixed up with the Indians. Like, different features. I don't know. This whole thing is crazy.
To get it here, Mika, and make it a separate argument from the ABO movement, you have to know the history of the freedmen and what having that connection to Native American citizenship would do for you. You know, I think Sean covered some of the land. A prominent figure in Seminole country or district would be Cody Johnson. This man opened up Black Panther oil. It's the benefits that you receive from it. Not to mention the Jim Crow era of Oklahoma. Native Americans got treated better than we did. If you go back and you look at the arguments then, you'll see blacks making the argument that these people are nomadic and don't want anything to do with quote unquote European civilization. Meanwhile, we do. And yet you treating them better than you treating us. So we have an argument against the natives and Europeans at the same time, even with tribal citizenship or admixture. But those mixed breeds become a problem because they're getting these benefits and they're leaning towards saying they're Indian more than black to escape Jim Crow. But if you don't understand this and you won't understand why grandma said we Indian to a certain demographic, not this new shit that they saying. And I hope y'all get that I'm using that as a euphemism towards that particular period. I hope that makes sense, Mika. This is that
Yeah.
whole passing era. Even if you wasn't Indian, let's say you was black and white. If you looked Indian, you might just say you was Indian just for the passing parts.
Right.
That's access to a job. That's access to not being harassed. You can go into establishments. You can go into town. You get where I'm going? You can get on the train. You can get the hell up out of here if you needed to.
Yeah.
So you got to add those dynamics into it historically. Now, this modern day shit is just YouTube talk or social media talk.
Yeah, man. Vernell beat himself though. I mean, it really wasn't much that I needed to do. Once I seen, that's why I wanted him to go first. Once I seen how he was arguing, I was like, I'm not finna over prepare for this dude. He ain't even that type of a guy. And every time we've prepared to debate people who have this belief that they're indigenous to America, they all have crumbled and failed, and we've been over prepared. Every single person, I don't care who it is, what what platform it is, we've been overly prepared. So I said, no, I'm not doing this. I said, I'm not going too deep, too far. I want to keep it simple. That's why I didn't get into too much archaeology or you know what I mean? Because I could have shown archaeological evidence that shows representation of our people doing what they do culturally. You know what I'm saying? Could have did that, but it wasn't a need because who the fuck is he? You know, he ain't no he not gonna go too far. He told you at the beginning in his first round that this was his opinion and that the facts he's bringing is based on his opinion. When you go back and listen to the video of this debate, when he starts speaking, he's going to say, "This is my opinion and facts that I'm bringing." He's going to you're going to see that shit. And then you're gonna start questioning him and everything else that come with him. Like, bro, like, what are you doing?
I sound like it's funny. Go to his account. So
Crazy.
who's next? Who's next? Who want this Shawn? Shawn on
Damn,
the plate.
they are definitely not coming over here to have any type of intellectual conversation. That's it. They gonna stay in the chat and away from me. They ain't trying to, and I keep telling you that.
I'll
Man,
debate you, Sean.
Oh, who's that?
right.
I'll debate you. I'll debate you. Let me get all my names right. Uh,
Who's talking?
that's me, Vasar,
There's
Bubba.
Oh,
a side over there.
I'll debate you, Sutek, Kofi. Who I'm leaving out? Ben. Uh, I got some more. I don't know if I should mention one because I don't know where everything is standing. But I'll debate y'all on whether or not I should get my seat back in the group. Set it up.
Satepara.
No, that's not the one I didn't want to mention. It's not the
Oh,
one. You know, you probably catching on.
okay.
so what you got to do a presentation or something?
Nah.
Yeah,
Voss
I
He said,
probably have to do a ritual.
yeah.
already ain't gotta do all that
Hmm.
over there playing. Yeah, he playing.
But good job, Sean. I
Yeah,
honestly thought you was gonna freestyle it like you was alluding to, but I like what you put together.
well, I wasn't gonna put no slides together. I was, you know what I mean.
You killed me with the
It wasn't for him, bro. It was more for
That's
people.
right. And I
the
told
the,
Shawn
the
to do it.
slide for the when you use the children's source.
Yeah, that was
You killed me with that, and it's not that that's an insult to people at all, because I
right.
often say a lot of that material generated for children is a good starting place.
Facts.
It is an excellent starting place, and don't look at it as children.
No, that's
It's
fact.
right at that beginning stage of reading comprehension and lead you into greater material.
Yep, definitely. That's why I said, man. That's why they have it. What's the name of that show? You smarter in the fifth grade or some shit?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of us would make it to the end of that show.
Look at them rolling in here. Shawn Carter. Oh, okay. These are different people. Oh, Shawn Carter body for free.
I mean, what y'all expect? He was off topic, right? He was off topic. What really too much to say? He wasn't ever on topic. I mean, no matter what happened or transpired, he definitely didn't want to deal with the research question. He started the whole bullshit. So you just gotta, I just stuck to the research question, which I knew that he wasn't gonna do that because none of them do. No, none of them know how to really research or answer research questions or have any type of methodology. And he, you know what I mean? He did what I knew he was gonna do. He's self hating. He hates himself.
So I guess he gonna come around with a fake account now. He can't come in with V note.
Nah, he gonna just try to entertain his little five people in his I guess it's, well, one of the people is Honey Clark. She one of the five people. So she'll go over there, you know what I'm saying? She wanna be
Yeah,
you know,
but she didn't
she
even
wanna
know
be a
Keith
mama.
at his stuff.
She wanna be a mother.
She
So
wanna
she
be a
goes over there. Yeah, she goes over there and mothers him up.
But
Right.
even with
Yeah,
that, it
it's
all
like
ended
that person over to her.
when the man
Yeah,
said Africa.
right. When he said Africa was over, that was
Yeah,
I was
I
like, bro,
typed that in at work. I'm glad you caught it and you didn't let that slip away. Like,
hell no. He did. He said it twice, and then had a source up there saying Africa. Nah, I wasn't letting none of that shit down because he ain't got nothing. And then talking about he's showing videos of people talking as primary. Primary what, nigga? We ain't even got no context of these people saying anything. So why is you sitting there talking about primary? That was crazy to me.
You got his voice down pat. I was like, wait a
Oh,
minute.
yeah, I know when I did that in that round, I know people was like, "Yo, yeah, that was disrespectful." It was disrespectful.
Sound just like him. It's crazy.
How would you feel if somebody mocked you in the middle of a debate and was reading a source on the screen? How would y'all feel about that? That's crazy. I was disrespectful though. I ain't gonna cap. I was definitely was disrespectful, and that was with intent. I was intending to be disrespectful. Why y'all quiet, yo? What happened?
it's just you know me. I try to be respectful. You know, I keep my mute button on.
Yeah.
I'm personally disappointed that he didn't bring out a single new talking point.
Nah, he didn't.
He
He
is
did
the
bring
same
out one
stuff.
though. He did bring out one.
Which one? Maybe I missed
He
it.
switched his family tree up.
Oh yeah,
That was new.
but
We ain't heard him.
it's
He didn't try to claim everybody now.
it's the same thing since we met him. It's play in Oklahoma, jump to Florida, bounce down to Panama, and his cherry picking is getting better. I can tell he's learning to repeat parts of the stuff that he's being taught. And that showed when I brought up the "Can you show where Seminole gets converted to Seminole?" and he dropped the there was no R in the language aspect. So I can tell, you know, he's basket weaving, but instead of making a basket, I don't know what the hell he's over there making with the material. So yeah, it don't make no sense. I can't believe this whole Indian conversation has lasted this many years at this point though.
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't got no information, bro. We just basically did it, and I just shut the fuck up and let him just cook himself. I just knew it was a matter of time, and he's always got like so many different type of claims, and you can never bog him down on one claim because he's always making all these different claims. And he just kept on. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm not chasing his claims. I'm done." I said, "I'm done. I'm done chasing his claims. He got it."
I told y'all stop cleaning wet with wet. But what I'm interested to see is when are the Albos gonna move past the black community and take their argument to either Native Americans or mainstream academia. In other
Nah,
words, battle some Europeans on the subject.
nah, they ain't gonna do that.
Right.
No.
Like there's other ways to get hood fame. That boy know full damn well if he caught a bid, he ain't screaming he Native American behind the wall.
Right.
That nigga gonna be an Islamic kente cloth wearing. I don't want to put that evil on nobody. Not the African aspects, but him catching a bid. So let me be quiet with that joke. But we all know the truth.
Definitely.
You going live tomorrow?
Nah. Uh. I think I did my show for the weekend, so I might just. I don't know. I might. Not a coincidence. Somebody like that live. I might kind of deal with it. Whatever's live, but they got this thing to kind of go through. And if those other people like Dulcinea and them, if they on some bullshit, I might deal with it.
Sean, you
Oh,
better take
Dulcinea
you
next.
a break from this world and go have some family time.
Now I'm definitely doing that.
You're giving us way too much. Go play that damn video game with them boys. Speaking
Nah, I
of,
ain't,
did
I
Caleb
ain't
did
video game.
Caleb continue his YouTube page?
Nah, well, he got it, but he ain't been doing that. He been doing like other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say I'd join y'all in the gaming, but I don't have time and not not a huge gamer anymore. I am waiting on that Mafia to drop though. That's something I play with my oldest daughter.
Is he live? Is Smoke Signal live? Nah, but you're right though. He said I'm gonna go live on MySpace and deal with it. See, YK been doing a hell of a job, but we really got to turn our attention to somebody who's scared to talk to us, and that's Kareemio. He's scared to talk to us, but that's where they get all this shit from. So we kind of started it with the Father's Day thing, and then shout out to YK for coming through and blessing us with the video that he had running them down. You know what I'm saying? Wait about the Juneteenth shit. So yeah, we in there. But nah, this video is what it is. I mean, the majority of this video is about Vino because he spoke. He had more time presenting information than I did because I yielded back time. in one of the rounds, probably that last round, the first and the second and last round. The reason that I did that is because I seen where he was going with his information, so I didn't want to get ahead of it, and I wanted to kind of walk him into, you know, what's going on with that. But if you really look at the Black Seminole history, there's no way you make the mistake that they're not of African descent. Everything that they did, and you can go into the cultural continuity of them and deal with it. But nah, man, I hope people to catch the replay, enjoy, you know, or extract what they need to extract from it, and see if it represent or benefit them, and then they somehow come away with the truth. I mean, an unbiased person will see two different debates because it felt like that too. That's why I don't really be debating nobody, because I be feeling like in the middle of a debate, I'm doing something that the other person ain't doing, or they ain't meeting this expectation. So therefore, it's bullshit. And I don't think that's cool at all. Like you made me waste my time type shit.
I don't think you waste your time today. Somebody gonna learn from it.
I mean, yeah, somebody might learn from the truth, but I mean, like for real, think about it. It was like night and day. The information presented was definitely night and day.
All right. Maybe this is his first time. Is this his first time debating or something?
Yeah, but my whole thing is even though if it's your first time, bro, I gave you enough information on me to be able to clean that up. I literally did. I gave you enough time. Like you got all these presentations that I've done, right? All these presentations on this channel, all this information regarding what we got going on. And then you mean to tell me that you don't take from none of that? Like you ain't looking and seeing how I'm presenting information at all?
One day he gonna look back and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember debating Shawn. I had to do it like this because that was horrible."
Crazy. Like it shouldn't even be that. Like I literally wasted my time, and that's why Honey said what she said. It's just like it's two different things. And then that's why he's so off topic. And then once I seen how he went, as soon as I seen that first round, I was like, yes. But it's gonna be like that for all of them, no matter the subject matter. Just like when we was on Not a Coincidence channel, and old boy, what's his name? The fake Hebrew. He was a Hebrew, and now he ain't Lex.
Who, JJ?
Lex Vortex.
Oh.
Yeah, Lex Vortex was on some bullshit. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they be coming up with shit like whatever the topic is, nigga, you ain't gonna be able to do it because you ain't did the real research. Like the real research ain't what you own. You gonna tell us about some shit that's got to deal with Africa, but you ain't even go to Africa and see what the Africans are saying about the shit. It's bullshit. I get tired of them niggas making up shit. It's old fast.
So what? Lex Vortex think he is?
FBA.
Oh.
He need that story. He need that David Imhotep shit. He need that story to validate him in a way. Like he really need that. He need that because that's the FBA way. Like that's the gate. You know, they gotta gatekeep pseudoscience. And by gatekeeping the pseudoscience, it keeps them It keeps them in the fight. And then trying to, but this elder, he tried to diminish what I was saying. And that's what I was trying to tell Pan. Like, you can't diminish what I'm saying, bro, because you think this dude, you can't say I ain't in such and such area, bro. You don't even know what level of research I'm coming with, bro. So you can't even make that assertion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even, we ain't even having the same conversation. And I learned that because Takam Kilimanjaro teaches research methodology. So he basically is telling me, no matter what, don't trust nobody, trust the information. What does the information say? What is the evidence for the information? If that is the claim, what is the evidence? And if the evidence ain't matching the claim, that's not evidence. You got superseding evidence. What does that look like? And then you deal with that. Like, come on. You got to get out of our own way, yo. We've been in love with the wrong shit for too long. But I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Make sure y'all like this shit and share it. I started cussing in the middle of the debate. I shouldn't
I'll
have.
tell you. You the only one I know that cuss so much during a debate.
Yeah, because it was dumb. At that point, it's just stupid. That's why I started cussing, because I felt like I wasted my time. He talked all kind of stupid, you know what I'm saying? And then he just show up with his video off his channel, and then she's trying to, and that's his debate, to show up with his video off his channel and then try to argue that shit. That was the stupidest.
Yeah, that was crazy.
At first, I was like, okay, whatever. He said he got a couple videos he wanted to play, so I'm thinking, all right, maybe he put some slides together, or maybe he kind of got himself prepared. Then I
That
was like,
wasn't a
this is the
couple.
same fucking stupid ass video.
Yeah, that wasn't a couple. I think his whole debate was videos.
It
I ain't
was.
seen it, but yeah, it was.
It was. He had one old book that he pulled up, and this outdated ass book that he was trying to use. But that wasn't putting black people in America before Columbus. He don't have a book for that. There's no book that's gonna do that. The white people ain't gonna tell you that. No, you're gonna have to go internally. You're gonna have to deal with internal sources. And what does the internal, and then when you start looking at the internal sources, because the white people at this point are external. They're invading. So they know who they invading. That's why they talk the shit that they talked about the fucking natives, like they did us. They talk the same shit. They had the same playbook. Period, point blank.
He not gonna admit it, but he know he lost.
Well, maybe I don't know.
Information.
Now he ain't gonna never admit when he lost. He don't admit when he wrong. Even when I correct him and I be like, yo, come on, you gotta admit it. He don't even do that. He ain't got no integrity.
That's crazy.
It was over in the first round, bro. Once I started defining who the Black Seminoles were, and then I showed the DNA and the blood samples, it was over. The rest of the shit was just shits and giggles. Period. I ain't have to do. I could have just kept repeating the same shit. I wasn't finna play. That's why I mean. That's why Garfield and them be like, yo, you trying to get rid of them too quick. I be like, man, I ain't got all day. Let's get them on out of here in the first round. Handle our business like geez. Straight up. But yeah, man, I don't know, I might go live tomorrow. Depends. It might be later on in the evening. I gotta, if I handle some business, then I might do it. If I don't get to handle my business, then I probably might do a Sunday show. I don't want to recap this debate because I don't want to advertise nothing that got anything to do with that dumbass nigga.
This shit about to send me on a rabbit hole I don't want to go down tonight, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
But you gonna listen to it?
No, I'm a cause Saint Augustine was mentioned. I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna see if that Nora August bust has any Seminole or Gullah origins to it. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's a small bust that was found of a sister who was bought in St. Augustine by a plantation owner in Georgia. Um, I'm going to see if there's any caveats that could tie this story in together. If that makes sense, because when you look at her, at it, when you look at that bust, it screams African.
Bro, it's crazy. Hey, that article that he was trying to cherry pick from Aunt Betsy. Not I think not a coincidence that I already pulled this shit up and went over that damn article before. I'm pretty sure you have, if I'm not mistaken. But you're right though. There was nothing new that he could come out with because he don't research. He's not, bro. Listen, dude's not researching shit. I just want y'all
What,
to understand.
well, just think about it. If you falling, you're gonna reach for anything to prop you up, and he's falling. He don't jump too damn high, and he's trying to catch any branch he can. So if you shake him off the Seminole tree, he's gonna fall into the Seminole tree. If you shake him out of being bow legs, he's gonna fall into another family tree. No pun intended. But you get where I'm going. So anything he can grab that he think that we may not be aware of, he's gonna grab it. Is my point. Not knowing that when you research a particular subject thoroughly, you, whether you know it or not, you become too familiar with the material for those little slip ins.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm damn sure I'm not no top scholar when it comes to the Black Seminoles, but I put in enough time to just see where he's pulling from. That's why I can just grab something so quick.
Yeah, anytime you're using the Oklahoma shit, you're gonna be able to find it. But I was gonna well, never mind. I did do it. So in the description of the video, basically, I left links from Florida Freedom Memory, and they have primary, secondary, and tertiary sources regarding the whole Seminole shit. So if for anybody that looks in the description of the video, you're gonna see all the evidence that was used against this dude. There was information that I did not use that I could have used, and there's even a book in there that I left that deals, like I said, and he even went to it and tried to show the same damn book. That's how crazy this shit is. The Exiles of Florida, he showed the book, the same book. And then he tried to say all this other shit because I know he's a cherry picker. Once you admit that people came, and that's what I did, once I showed that people was leaving or mentioned that people was leaving South Carolina, going into Georgia, then running out of Georgia into Florida, it was a wrap. It wasn't nothing else to talk about. Bro's tripping. Bro's tripping all the way, man.
That very first presentation I did on Kofi's channel actually gives the names of those first runaways. I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that. and pull those names out. And I think one of them was a child. I still got it somewhere. Somewhere in my laptop. I'll pull it out and see where the hell I found that material at. It might have been in that Dixon book.
That's crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know what he thought he was doing. It was just gone. But yeah, I'm gonna get on about it, Vasa, bro. Appreciate you, man. Y'all make sure y'all like this shit, share it, man, and we'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all be smooth. I might be back tomorrow though. Nope.
Absolutely. No
You'll never hear
problem.
white people deny Europe.
Right.
Yeah, I'll catch you later though, bro.
All right, Sean. Enjoy. Get you some good rest.
I
Peace
ain't
to the
even,
audience.
yeah, I ain't even sleepy, bro. Well, but I'll catch y'all later. All right, man. Y'all be smooth, y'all. Take care, man. Like this show, share the show. We up out this mug, man.
From Africa, but they will be able to tell you about Africa. They wouldn't be vaguely saying they from Africa, brother. Like when a European says I'm from Europe, he doesn't say I'm from Europe. He says I'm from Germany. I'm from a particular province. I still got people out there, right? You know, when people say hold on. When people say they from Asia, they tell you where about from Asia they from. They tell you their province. They tell you they still got people out there. These people will confirm that they are indeed a part of their heritage. But you niggas was calling y'all African? Oh, mysteriously, you have no contact with the people you say you descend from. So I don't believe you. Bro.
Hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. The roots of a tree and not hate the tree.
You ain't no Indian, please try again. Everybody know you's an African. And Malcolm X said, you can't hate the root without hating the tree. Now take a look at you, you's a wannabe Cherokee. And I told you before, you need some therapy. And why you never show the genealogy? You owe your ancestors an apology. And you know they turning over inside of their graves just because you don't wanna come from a slave. So you gotta take this whip in. I caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Hey, caught another apple. Let's go slipping. Hey, caught another apple. Let's go slipping. Hey, caught another apple. Let's go. Caught another. Let's go. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple slipping. Caught another apple. Caught another apple. Caught another apple slipping. Yo, check this out, man. You wasn't already here, man. Dane Calloway lied to you, man. The research guy lied to you, man. Karimio lied to you, man. Your ancestors come from Africa, whether you like it or not. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you will always be an African. You can't deny the facts. You can't deny the evidence. You can't deny the genealogy. You can't deny the DNA. You can't deny it, man. Whether you like it or not, you are African. caught an elbow slipping. That's all we do. That's all we do. Let's go.
Got some dewy-eyed thing that you got a friend. I still ask you to look at that mirror. And if nothing's staring back at you is friendly, then you've got no friend.